Senior is cheerleader Mia Boyd. Mia is being escorted by her parents, Rachel and Eric Boyd. Mia has acted and edited many MHS Rewind short films, is a two-time IASB winner, and has a GPA of 3.7. After high school, Mia plans to attend Indiana University to study sonography to be an ultrasound tech. She would also like to pursue an acting career. Her favorite high school memory is Friday Night Lights and cheer for the Arties. Also stunning and teaching the little Arties cheers and dances. Best of luck, Mia Boyd. Our next senior is cheerleader Addie Dean. Addie is being escorted by her parents, Brandy and Gary Dean. Addie is a 10-year 4-H member, the current president of FFA, past president of Interact Club, a member of the National Honor Society, 2-year varsity cheerleader, 3-year varsity tennis player, 3-year member of student council, and a member of Key Club, also the Red and Blue Crew. Addie will graduate with academic and technical honors and has maintained a 3.9 GPA. After high school, Addie plans to attend a 4-year university to get her bachelor's degree in nursing. Her favorite high school memory is winning the Mid-State Championship, the M Trophy, sectionals, regionals, at last year's football team. Best of luck, Addie Dean. Our next senior cheerleader is Cheyenne Norris. Cheyenne is being escorted by her parents, Katie and Chris Norris. Cheyenne is a member of the National Honor Society. She has cheered for 5 years, been a member of student council for 6, and is a member of the Red Blue Crew. Cheyenne is graduating with academic honors and Core 30. After high school, Cheyenne plans to attend Indiana University in Bloomington and major in psychology. Her favorite high school memory is teaching the little cheerleaders at the summer and winter cheer clinics. Best of luck, Cheyenne Norris. Our next senior cheerleader is Madeline Robinson. Madeline is being escorted by her parents, Suzanne and Stacy Robinson. Madeline is a member of the National Honor Society, SALT, the Dance Marathons, Student Council, the track team, and is vice president of the Key Club. She is a 3-time NCAA All-American, Mid-State All-Conference individual winner, and was a part of the winning Mid-State competition cheer team. Madeline is top 10 of her class, received academic excellence with a 4.0 or higher GPA, and is Hoosier Girls State delegate. After high school, Madeline plans to attend a 4-year university to major in accounting, business with analytics and practice, and minor in political science. Her favorite high school memory is recording vlogs at traditional practice and making 6-7 jokes to make Cheatham mad, even though she secretly likes when we do it and joins in. Best of luck, Madeline Robinson. Our next senior cheerleading is a cheerleading manager, Oriana Hepting. Oriana is being escorted by her host family, Emmylou and Matthew Spence. Oriana graduated high school in France with honors and participated in study abroad programs in Germany, and now is in the U.S. After high school. Oriana plans to attend college and pursue film studies. Her favorite high school memory is attending her first American football game and discovering a new sport. Best of luck, Oriana Hepting. Our next senior is football manager Hayden Dewey. Hayden is being escorted by her mom, Catherine Dewey, and her brother, Cody Anthus. Hayden is a 4-year yearbook member, also a member of Rewind for 2 years, a member of Student Council, a member of the Red Blue Crew and Bible Club for 3 years. Also, Hayden has been a part of an athletic leadership team for 1 year. After high school, Hayden plans to attend Franklin College. Her favorite high school memory is becoming a manager and making really good friends with the managers and some football players. Best of luck, Hayden Dewey. Our first football senior is number 3, Reese Wolf. Reese is being escorted by his parents, Laura and Ryan Wolf. Reese is top 5 in his class, a member of the National Honor Society, captain of the football team. Reese has received a varsity letter in football, basketball, and baseball since his freshman year and is a mid-state all-conference baseball player. After high school, Reese plans to attend the University of Notre Dame and study pre-med while playing baseball. His favorite high school memory is making the game-winning stop against Whiteland in the rain his junior year. Best of luck, Reese Wolf. Our next senior is number 5, Jace LaFerry. Jace is being escorted by his parents, Julie and Mike LaFerry. Jace is a member of the Football Leadership Council, also a 2-year varsity starter and is a team captain. After high school, Jace plans to attend college and pursue a degree in engineering. His favorite high school memory is winning the Franklin game sophomore year and scoring 3 touchdowns in the first half. Best of luck, Jace LaFerry. Our next senior is number 8, Lucas Dewey. Lucas is being escorted by his parents, Maggie and Jason Dewey. Lucas is a 2-time all-conference football player. He was named Junior All-State last season and is a member of SALT, a peer tutor, and a 2-year captain. After high school, Lucas plans to play college football and study business. His favorite high school memory is beating Evansville Rights in the regional. Best of luck. Number 8, Lucas Dewey. Our next senior is number 9, Grady Gardner. Grady is being escorted by his parents, Lindsay and Rhett Gardner. Grady is a 2-time all-conference basketball player, an all-conference football player, IFCA Junior All-State last season, a 1,000-point scorer in basketball, also a member of the National Honor Society. Grady is on the Habitat for Humanity leadership team, a member of SALT, and is a captain of the football team. After high school, Grady plans to attend college to play basketball and study health and exercise science with a concentration in kinesiology. Then he plans to go on to med school to become a sports medicine doctor. His favorite high school memories are getting 3 interceptions against Mooresville last year and hanging out with his friends after the games. Best of luck, Grady Gardner. Our next senior is number 11, Landon Pottorff. Landon is being escorted by his parents, Lori and Pete Pottorff. Landon has maintained a 3.7 GPA while obtaining an academic honors diploma. He's a 3-year varsity starter, was named all-conference as a junior. After high school, Landon plans to attend college and play football. His favorite high school memories are beating Decatur Central last year in an epic comeback and going on to win a regional championship. Best of luck, number 11, Landon Pottorff. Our next senior is number 14, Gamble Pieper. Gamble is being escorted by his parents, Melissa and Andrew Pieper. Gamble has a 3.5 GPA and is a starter on the football team. After high school, Gamble plans to join the local trade union. His favorite high school memory is beating Franklin. Best of luck, Gamble Pieper. Our next senior is number 15, Levi Reuter. Levi is being escorted by his parents, Nicole and Adam Reuter. Levi is a captain of the football team. After high school, Levi plans to become a lineman and eventually open his own business doing construction. His favorite high school memory is beating Decatur Central in a comeback last year. Best of luck, Levi Reuter. Our next senior is number 16, Charlie Rollins. Charlie is being escorted by his parents, Amber and Jesse Rollins. Charlie has a 4.0 GPA and is first-team all-district in soccer. After high school, Charlie plans to attend college and play soccer. His favorite high school memory is winning conference this year with the soccer team. Best of luck, number 16, Charlie Rollins. Our next senior is number 18, Adam Branham. Adam is being escorted by his parents, Jet and Matt Branham. Adam has been a member of SALT for 4 years and a part of the Football Leadership Council for 4 years. After high school, Adam would like to pursue a career as a lineman. His favorite high school memory is beating Decatur Central his junior year in the comeback win. Also, congratulations, Adam, from your extended family in Panama City Beach. Best of luck, Adam Branham. Our next senior is number 23, Bradley Willison. Bradley is being escorted by his parents, Jamie and Andrew Willison. Bradley is a 4-year varsity football letterman. After high school, Bradley plans to go to trade school to become an electrician. His favorite high school memory is playing Whiteland on a Monday night. Best of luck, number 23, Bradley Willison. Our next senior is number 24, Brendan Ziegelbauer. Brendan is being escorted by Ashley and Tony England and David Ziegelbauer. Brendan is happy that he chose to play football during his high school career. After high school, Brendan plans to become a diesel mechanic. His favorite high school memory is coming back from a 35-point deficit against Decatur and winning. Best of luck, Brendan Ziegelbauer. Our next senior is number 29, Landon Hamblin. Landon is being escorted by his parents, Ashley and Nick Hamblin. Landon is a member of Habitat for Humanity leadership team. After high school, Landon plans to join the IEC of Indianapolis and wants to work towards becoming an electrician. His favorite high school memory is playing against Mooresville on senior night on his birthday this year. Best of luck and happy birthday, Landon Hamblin. Our next senior is number 30, Fisher Dunscombe. Fisher is being escorted by his parents, Pamela and Chad Dunscombe. Fisher was a part of the volleyball sectional championship team, and he received a 5 on the English Comp AP test. After high school, Fisher plans to become a firefighter. His favorite high school memory is watching the comeback against Decatur 2 years in a row. Best of luck, Fisher Dunscombe. Our next senior is number 45, Thad Smith. Thad is being escorted by his parents, Amanda Mason and Thad Smith. After high school, Thad plans to join the law enforcement. His favorite high school memory is beating Decatur last year. Best of luck, Thad Smith. Our next senior is number 50, Ezra Boo. Ezra is being escorted by his parents, Angie and Jeff Boo. Ezra's accomplishments is winning a track meet in discus. After high school, Ezra plans to get a business degree. His favorite high school memory is hanging out with friends after games. Best of luck, Ezra Boo. Our next senior is number 59, Mason Simzak. Mason is being escorted by Ken Simzak and Jeff and Jeannie Martin. Mason is a part of the Football Leadership Council. After high school, Mason plans to become a pilot. His favorite high school memory is beating Decatur Central last year in the greatest comeback in Indiana high school history. Best of luck, Mason Simzak. Our next senior is number 63, Coleman Dittamore. Coleman is being escorted by his parents, Emily and Chris Dittamore. After high school, Coleman plans to join the union and become a travel pipe welder. His favorite high school memory is the welding class last year with Mr. Hunt. Best of luck, Coleman Dittamore. Our next senior is number 65, Andrew Carter. Andrew is being escorted by Heather and Steve Woods. After high school, Andrew plans to work in the union as a welder. His favorite high school memory is playing against Charlestown last year and beating them 56-0. Best of luck, Andrew Carter. Our next senior is number 72, Hunter White. Hunter is being escorted by Desiree Randolph and Steve Graham. Hunter enjoyed doing all the trade classes in high school. After high school, Hunter plans to attend trade school. His favorite high school memory is swimming with the team after running the Park Hill. Best of luck, Hunter White. Our next senior is number 75, Gavin Shrake. Gavin is being escorted by his parents, Ashley and Matt Shrake. Gavin enjoyed being a part of one of the best teams in school history last season. After high school, Gavin plans to get a job and start a family. His favorite high school memory is beating Decatur last season in a 35-point comeback. Best of luck, number 75, Gavin Shrake. Our next senior is number 79, Dylan Young. Dylan is being escorted by Bobby Joe and Dustin Young. Dylan is proud to be a sectional champion, a winner of the M Trophy, and being a part of an undefeated season. After high school, Dylan plans to become a construction worker. His favorite high school memory was beating Decatur 38-35 in 2024. Best of luck, Dylan Young. Our next senior is number 81, Ty Stroud. Ty is being escorted by his parents, Kimberly and Andy Stroud. Ty has a 3.5 GPA, is a 3-year basketball player, a 1-year football and baseball player, and is a member of Bible Club. Ty plans to attend college to get his DPT, studying kinesiology. His favorite high school memory is getting to play with all the people he grew up with. Best of luck, number 81, Ty Stroud. Our next senior is number 90, Wyatt Davis. Wyatt is being escorted by Linda Davis. Wyatt's high school accomplishments include playing varsity football. After high school, Wyatt plans to go to trade school and become a diesel mechanic. His favorite high school memory is beating Decatur last year. Best of luck, number 90, Wyatt Davis. And our last senior is number 91, Austin Brown. Austin is being escorted by Jamie Brown and Carmen Ortega. After high school, Austin plans to become a DNR officer. His favorite high school memory is the JV game this year against Franklin when he had 2 sacks. Best of luck, Austin Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get on your feet. Make some noise for this incredible senior class. All the accomplishments that they have achieved, we will miss them. Best of luck to our senior athletes.
Hello and welcome to Siderewicz Field on senior night on the campus of Martinsville High School for a conference matchup where the Artesians host the Pioneers of Mooresville. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Quinn Sparenblick, and I'm joined here by my broadcast partner, Braxton Dilly. And Braxton, the Artesians are hopeful for a win here tonight to reinforce their win of last week against Perry Meridian.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Quinn. The Artesians had a very good showing last week against the Falcons of Perry Meridian with a final score of 46-21 in the Artesians' favor. However, they have a much bigger game here tonight against their biggest rivals, the Mooresville Pioneers, who are also hopeful for a win here at Siderewicz Field, as both teams need this win as the regular season winds down.
And speaking of that other side of the field, meanwhile, on the other side of the field, it's the Mooresville Pioneers who, like you said, have had their own turbulent season and have to be looking forward to trying to snag a win from their hatred rivals in their own home stadium tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Quinn. Again, as the Mooresville Pioneers, they've had their own losses to the Giants of the Mid-State Conference, that being Decatur and Plainfield. And Martinsville will play Plainfield this upcoming week, but this does not lessen the impact of whoever wins this game, as some consider this rivalry to be one, if not one of the most premier ones in all of the Mid-State Conference.
Well, Dill Pickle, for the final time this season, you and I, what are the keys to the game for this potential nail-biter on both sides of the ball?
Yes, I mean, looking at the Martinsville keys to the game, they're going to have to play some defense. I mean, they're going to have to guard this Mooresville team who's really struggled offensively. I think their highest scoring game was 27 points, but they got a quarterback in Connor Cruz who can really run the ball. He's a dual-threat guy. They also have Denny on the outside. When he gets those wheels turning, that's going to be pretty hard to stop. So they need to play some D and really set the tone on that defensive side. And they're going to have to rely on some of their big playmakers. You know, Landon Casey making some big catches out wide. Lucas Dewey running the ball hard. Chase Davis is going to have to put some balls on the money tonight. And all those guys, you know, they're top 5 in their respective stats in the mid-state. And lastly, they're going to have to fly around and make big plays. You know, this offensive team for the Artesians, very explosive. You know, we've seen when they can make these big plays happen, good things happen. And looking on the other side for Mooresville, they're going to have to get their offense going. They really haven't had a offensive masterclass all year yet. They're really going to need to get going offensively, and they're going to have to prevent the key playmakers for the Artesians from getting in rhythm. You know, we talked about Landon Casey, Lucas Dewey, Chase Davis, all those guys. If, you know, one thing gets going, and then one thing leads to another, and then this Artesian team really hard to stop. So the Pioneers are really going to have to key in on some of those guys. And last thing, they're going to have to block out this crowd. You know, senior night, they got a little extra juice coming into Siderewicz Field, so they're going to have to weather the storm, not allow this crowd to play a huge impact, which it seems like it might with how much people are around here, man.
We are now going to take you back out to the field, as here in a couple of minutes we will have the national anthem up along with the coin toss to see if the Artesians or Mooresville will kick us off for this intense rivalry game.
Yeah, this one should be good. I mean, Battle of the M, the last 2 years, it's been here in Martinsville. It stayed, but before that, it feels like it was in Mooresville for almost a century. I know it wasn't that long, but it feels like forever. And then Martinsville was able to had it stay here the past couple of years. So this one, you know, it's going to be a dogfight. I think this is a very even matchup. Both teams, you know, I think coming in here with a lot of weapons, and both teams got some dudes that can make some plays. So we'll see which team can try and stop those guys. You can see the band down there. We got, of course, as we mentioned, senior night tonight. A lot of people, you know, coming out of state to watch the seniors, and what is their last, could be their last home game. You know, we don't know what the playoffs are going to entail. You know, maybe we'll get a home game, maybe we won't. But this is their last official home game that they know they're going to have. So, you know, especially in a game like this, you want to leave it all out there. You know, you want your last memories on Siderewicz Field to be good ones, and you don't want to have that sour taste in your mouth that you can look back on, you know, for the next 70 years. And, hey, we didn't get that last win on Siderewicz Field, but Artesians have a chance to control their own destiny here at Siderewicz Field tonight, and what better way to try to get it done in the Battle of the M against the Pioneers. These are some electric teams. We've had some really good games these past few years. I feel like past 3 years, these games have came down to the wire, and these teams seem to always
it does look
fail.
like the Artesians are getting ready to come onto the field here, as we are about a minute till the coin toss and the national anthem. With the lights of the carnival for fall foliage over the horizon, you are watching MHS Rewind. You are watching Martinsville versus Mooresville on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSA TV. We will see you here in a minute.
On behalf of Principal Superintendent, I'd like to welcome our guests, the Mooresville Pioneers, to Martinsville High School and Siderewicz Field. Ladies and gentlemen, good sportsmanship is a characteristic that we desire to be exhibited by the members of our athletic teams. We take a proactive stance and encourage good sportsmanship to grow and remain strong for many years to come. We encourage our teams, players, coaches, and fans to be a good sport during tonight's contest. Please be proud of your team, coaches, and school while being positive in your support. Please do your part to be a good sport. Ladies and gentlemen, on the track is the Marching Artesian Band. The Marching Artesians has some very special guests with them this evening. Please welcome the band students from John R. Wooden Middle School and their teacher, Mr. James Powell. Tonight, these two fine musical groups will combine to play some pep tunes to help us get in the spirit and help the football team to victory against the Pioneers. First, we'll perform the Pledge of Allegiance and then our national anthem. First, our Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would rise and please remove your hat. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now join with the Martinsville Marching Artesian Band as well as the John R. Wooden Middle School Band for the playing of our national anthem.
Beautiful national anthem with the MHS choir partnering up with the John R. Wooden Middle School choir to try and give us the maximum amount of experience here for senior night. Sorry for those early stream stumbles earlier. I had my own little problems there, but now we are ready to bring you all of the action here at Siderewicz Field. Me and Braxton Dilly going at it for the final time here on senior night.
Yeah, I mean, this one should be electric. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, these are two teams that, you know, this rivalry never seems to fall short of what expectations hold to it. And I have a feeling tonight it's going to be another good game. Of course, we got the M on the line, as I talked about earlier. The past couple of years, it's been staying here in Martinsville. So let's see if the Pioneers can try and cause havoc and try to bring it back to Mooresville. But I feel like this rivalry has been pretty even. You know, I mean, you feel like you never know who's going to win it every year. In the last few years, I feel like we've had some really close games. And Quinn, I wouldn't be surprised if we have another close one here tonight.
I wouldn't be surprised if we have a nail-biter here tonight either, Braxton, as these teams, like you have said, have been pretty even as far as the rivalry goes, and it has been going for a very, very long time.
Yeah, you know,
probably just ever since the early 1910s.
Just a quick drive down State Road 67. These two teams meet, and yeah, they don't like each other. There's definitely a rivalry, and we'll probably see a lot of physical football tonight. Both teams, again, trophy on the line. They're going to bring it. And we got a little bit extra juice with the senior night. Of course, we got a lot of fans, of course, as they've never failed to come out and support these Artesian team. And we should be in store for a good one. You can see players look like they're ready to go on the sidelines. Just had the coin toss. I believe the Artesians most likely will receive. I feel like they've received pretty much every time we've been in the booth up here.
And it's like you said, Braxton, they pretty much received every time. And I feel like that's what Duggar wants. He wants to go out there early, punch him in the jaw,
set the tone,
try and get that early tone setting in, and just try and push this Mooresville team to play at Martinsville's pace.
And he does. You know, that's one thing he believes in, is just set the tone early. You know, the offense is going to start off with the ball, and you're going to go get it, march down the score. You know, and it's worked a lot. You know, of course, sometimes you're not always going to score on that first drive, but you know, you got to love how Coach Duggar wants to set the tone, especially early. And when you got a rivalry like this, you want to set the tone off right. Really important possession here.
We got the famous two Martinsville punt returners, Grady Gardner and Landon Casey, out there like always.
Yeah, they both have house one this year on the return, so the Pioneers got to be careful. Maybe kick this one a little shorter. Don't give them a chance, but we'll see what they want to do.
And the first kickoff here for this should be good game, as it looks like it bounces a little there right into the hands of Lucas Dewey, who easily evades a bunch of Mooresville returners, defenders, and tries to get it around the 50-yard line.
Yeah, we talked about how they might not want to kick it deep, and they like to squib that when they kicked it right to the second level. Artesians kind of bobble it around, but luckily fell on that one. So the Artesians will start off the game here on offense, right around the 50-yard line. This is really good field position. I expect them to get Landon Casey involved pretty early. Watch for the jet sweep here on the first play to try to get your playmakers involved.
And, of course, the junior Chase Davis, currently 4th in the mid-state for passing yards, as he gives a nice little screen jet pass to Landon Casey over there, who uses his speed to easily gain about 3 or 4 yards on that play.
And you talk about the speed, man. When he gets the edge, he can just go downhill real quick right there. Nice block out wide from the Artesians. You can see right there Lucas Dewey finding the man, bringing him down. Nice block there from Potteroff as well. And then Casey just kind of does the rush, moving side to side, trying to get downfield, picks up about half.
And speaking on this Mooresville defense, they are no slouches themselves. Taylon Dobkins, 65 total tackles on the year. 3 tackles of them are for loss, and he currently leads the mid-state in the tackle category.
Yeah,
what a defensive threat that has to be.
He's just a magnet to the football. Anytime someone has the ball, he's going downhill. Seems like he's always where whoever has the ball is. And solid run there from Dewey. Going to bring up about a 3rd and a long 3, maybe even 4.
And it does look like Dewey comes out for Grady Gardner. The substitutions for this running team for Martinsville have definitely been great, as it looks like they will hand it off to Grady Gardner, but he gets stuffed behind the line by number 53 for Mooresville, and that looks like that will be Ty Montgomery making that play that time.
Pioneers really sniffed that one out. The Artesians like to go with that package. They call it the GOAT package with Grady Goat 5, where you just snap him the ball, let him go to work right there. Pioneers, they've been studying some film. They know when number 9 comes in the ball game at quarterback, most likely going to get the ball, try to go downhill, and they made a great play on the ball right there.
Definitely just a great read by this Mooresville defense, showing they've been doing their homework for Martinsville and showing they're not going to give them any easy points tonight.
Charlie, a lot of time here to kick this thing. He's going to go.
Looks like he's going to try and go for this time.
He's got a long way to go.
Doesn't look like he'll get there. Just 1 yard shy of that first down, and just what a heartbreaker there for Charlie Rollins.
Yeah, about the guts in the kid, trying to get the edge, a soccer player. And he said, we had a lot of time. We had a lot of protection. Let's try and go get this thing. And he kind of waits around for a little bit, as you can see on your screen. And he says, let's try it. Credit to the Pioneers. Beat him to the point of attack, because, man, just as you mentioned, just about a yard short of the first down marker there. Tough break for the Artesians, but Pioneers will have similar field position to what the Artesians started off with last drive.
And this Artesian defense, definitely in the middle tier as far as things go, but still can be a very sneakily good defense if you aren't watching carefully.
Yeah, they got some dudes. And speaking of dudes, that dude, number 5 right there for the Pioneers, Connor Cruz, we talked about it earlier. He's a dual threat guy. You're going to see a lot of him running the football tonight. He can throw it. Doesn't throw it very often, but when he does, watch for Denny out wide. But that number 5, man, he can get the ball and go downhill pretty quick. You can see right there, just takes it and goes. Had some solid blocks up front, and he's able to pick up the first down.
And you want to talk about the dual threat ability of Connor Cruz, one of the leading passers in the Mid-State Conference, even above, our own quarterback from Martinsville, Chase Davis. And just definitely has to be a threat that this Artesian defense has to watch out for.
Oh.
But it does look like they watched him well that time, and they come down hard on the running back from Mooresville, Tyler Denny, who himself is his own threat.
Yeah, Denny didn't have much to work with there. As soon as he got that ball, you kind of see a couple Artesian defenders in their face. Credit to the defense. I mean, they read that one pretty well. They sniffed it out in the backfield, and they met him before he could even, make a decision on what he wanted to do. So that's what you got to do. Get this Pioneer team behind the sticks, get him in these 2nd and 15, maybe 14 situations to where they're going to have to lean on the pass game and let this secondary for the Artesians really work.
But this Artesian defense definitely specializing in all areas of the field, having playmakers in the D-line, linebackers, and defensive backs that can make plays. As he looks like Connor Cruz airs one out over to the sideline to number 2, Jackson Denny, Tyler Denny's younger brother. And what a catch there for Mooresville, as that moves the sticks and they get a first down here.
I didn't know there were another. I didn't know there were 2 Dennys. I knew, I guess there's 3 in all. The older one goes to IU playing baseball, but they got two younger ones, and right there, nice pocket awareness there from Cruz, able to kind of escape, didn't have much pressure. He's able to settle down, make a nice throw to the sideline. The Artesians covered it pretty well, but that spot was just a little open, and Cruz found it.
And that dual threat ability shown off there by Connor Cruz earlier. He ran it for a nice gain. There he threw it for an easily over 15-yard pass, just showing that throwing ability mixed in with those quick legs of his that are just going to be a threat all night for this Artesian defense.
Yeah, if you're the Artesians, you got to get some pressure on him. You know, if you allow him to dance around, you know, have time in the pocket, he's going to make some plays. So I think you got to get in his face, try to disrupt the pass, or he might have a heyday just throwing all night long.
But it does look like the Artesians received an untimely penalty here, which is going to back them up to a 1st and 5. Not what you'd love to see if you're head coach Brian Duggar.
No, I think they got called for the encroachment there. I'm not sure if it was a D-line, maybe a linebacker walked down too far. But Artesians, they going to call timeout here? I think they will.
It does look like the Artesians call a timeout. Interesting choice there from Duggar, possibly just trying to get this defense back into the right mindset here early in the first quarter. Don't want to be giving up easy points to this Mooresville offense.
Yeah, this is a big drive. You know, who's going to score first? Who's going to set the tone? And right now, Mooresville kind of driving. You know, you get the penalty, and maybe the defense is kind of, you know, not where you want to be. Maybe they're not in their spot. So, like the timeout, just to kind of regroup. You know, make sure everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. You know, you make sure every guy knows what responsibility is theirs. And it looks like the coaches are coaching them up in that huddle right there, just making sure, you know, everyone is on the same page.
And just showing you a minute ago, Jackson Denny at the front of that huddle, who made that amazing catch earlier. Just what a player he is, and what an inspiration he has to look up to his older brother, Tyler Denny, who definitely is a big offensive key to this Mooresville offense.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about his older brother. He was a nightmare for a lot of teams in the mid-state for a few years. You know, I think he started as a freshman, and he just caused havoc. I mean, he just run around looking like Johnny Manziel out there, you know, tough guy to bring down. But there's two more of them, so Artesians got their handful tonight.
It does look like the Artesians loading the box, but it doesn't seem to be enough to stop him from gaining yards that time. Number 1, Tyler Denny, pushing forward for about 2 or 3 on that possession.
Yeah, the O-line there for the Pioneers had a good push, and it created some open space there for Denny. The second level, the Artesians kind of met him a couple yards short of that first down marker. But when you get a penalty on those first downs, a 3-yard run, not the end of the world. You know, you're in a 2nd and 2 now. You have a chance. Maybe if you want to take a shot, you know, you only got 2 yards to go. Already probably in 4-down territory. So expect the Pioneers to probably be pretty aggressive here on this play.
And it does look like Connor Cruz just speaking with the coach a little bit over there, the head coach, Mike Gillen. Definitely just trying to figure some things out here on 2nd and 2. Connor Cruz rolling back to pass as he fires one over the middle. That's easily caught by number 11, Journey Thompson, another big wide receiver for this Mooresville team.
You know, I kind of had a thought there that, you know, you're in that 2nd and 2 situation. Maybe just take a shot, see what happens. And right there, nice throw, nice catch. We split the middle right there. Take a shot at the end of that. Credit to Pioneers for holding on to that one. But now they're in business. You know, you got a first and goal. You got 4 plays to score. Playbook wide open here.
And speaking of the Denny brothers, they're not the only siblings on this team, as Elijah and Journey Thompson, the 2 highest receiving players for this Mooresville offense. Elijah himself averaging 7.2 yards per catch, 446 yards a game with 4 tutties, and Journey himself 344 total yards on the season, 14.3 per catch, and himself 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, a lot of DNA running through this Pioneers team. A lot of siblings on this team. You got to think that just adds more chemistry. You know, you've been playing with your sibling all your life, and you know where they're going to run. You know what route they're going to do. You know where you're going to block. So you got to only think that just kind of helps this Pioneer team out.
And just a minute ago, while I was talking away to you, dear viewers, the Mooresville Pioneers pushed it forward about 2 yards closer to that end zone. And it does look like they'll try and go for it
Cruz,
again. But Connor Cruz fakes him out, rolls to his left, and gets that easy touchdown, adding another one to his total of 3, now 4 on the year.
Yeah, beautiful play there. You know, I think the whole place thought he was going to run the ball. Nice fake handoff. He just kind of rolls to the left, and there's no one there. And he able to do the rest. Connor Cruz getting in the end zone on top for the Pioneers.
And it does look like they will be going for the extra point here. I thought they might be going for a 2-point conversion, but that seems to be not Mike Gillen's pace here for this Mooresville Pioneer team. As Connor Cruz out there to put this one up through the uprights. And my mistake, Connor Cruz seems to be holding the ball down there.
Cruz held that one. They split the uprights. Pioneers jump out to a quick 7-0 start. Solid drive there from the Pioneers. You know, they had a good defensive stop, and they marched all the way down the field and scored. If you're the Pioneers, you can't ask for a better start. You know, you get a good stop on defense, and then you kind of slowly march down the field. Nice couple big passes to get him set up in the red zone. And Connor Cruz kind of did the rest for the Pioneers. He's a quick fella. We've talked about his legs being a factor here tonight, and right there early. You can see he kind of scrambled a couple of times and then finally gets it in the end zone for the Pioneers.
And those keys to the game we were talking about earlier, getting out here, setting that tone early, stopping their key playmakers, and just trying to get their offense into motion as they haven't been really able to all season, really scoring only 2 or 3 scores each game. The time only scoring 4 points was against Decatur Central, and we can all see how Decatur Central has been playing this year, so it still didn't end out well for them. But Mooresville seems to be getting their offense clicking here in this game.
Yeah,
with 7 minutes, 7 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
Really important for them to get those fellas kind of moving. And when you get your offense scoring quick like that, that's always a good sign for the Pioneers. You know, you get things clicking early, especially with an offense that has struggled at times this year. You get them quickly on the board. You got to feel good about that drive. So now the Artesians, how are they going to respond? You know, how are they going to get your playmakers involved? Maybe let Chase sling this thing around, but you always know you can lean on number 8 in the backfield, Lucas Dewey, as well.
And speaking about Lucas Dewey for this Artesian offense, he is 4th in the mid-state for rushing yards, 736 on the season. Just what a beast, along with 7 touchdowns to go along with that yardage. And you just have a monster running back there as he rushes forward for about 7 or 8 that time.
Yeah, he'll add some more to that total. You know, he gets the ball and just goes downhill so well. And right there, nice blocking up front from the big fellas. And this gets the Artesians in a 2nd and 1 situation where, again, like the Pioneers were earlier, you maybe you can take a shot here. The playbook's kind of open. And whenever you get in these 2nd and 1, maybe a long 2, you got to like these situations.
And it looks like Lucas is trying to push his way forward, but he gets stopped a yard short of that first down marker, 3rd and 1 this time. Just definitely good stopping there by Mooresville's defense as they just get to Lucas Dewey early, wrap him up, and prevent that first down.
Yeah, you got to think they're going to be keying on Lucas Dewey, just knowing how much he likes to run the ball and get things moving. And I expect the Artesians, give it to number 8 again. You know, you got a yard to go. Go let the fella pick up the first down here.
And Lucas Dewey runs to the outside, getting easy yards as Landon Casey's there for a nice block. And Lucas Dewey trying to find open space there, and it takes almost 4 men to bring him down that time as he pushes us all the way down to the 30 in the Mooresville side of the field.
He's a tough dude to tackle. You can see he gets the edge, and then right there, usually a lot of people go down right there. But now he just keeps going, gets a stiff arm in there. It takes about 4 Pioneers, as you mentioned, to bring him down. Just such a tough runner there for Lucas Dewey.
And you're talking about such a physical runner. It takes about 4 nearly fully grown men to bring him down. That is one tough running back, as he only gains about 1 or 2 that time, but still nice yardage there on the last play from Lucas Dewey.
He just runs so hard. You know, he doesn't go a lot more side to side. He just goes downhill. And when you got a running back that knows where the sticks are, knows how to pick up, you know, big chunks of yardage, has really good vision too. You know, when you get a hole up front, you know where to run. And
Lucas Dewey running to the outside again as he has more wide open space, and he hurdles a guy before getting tackled by another Mooresville defender as he moves the sticks again, just running all over this Mooresville defense for the 2nd drive for the Artesians.
Yeah, we talked about when he gets the outside, man, he can go down low. Watch 82 at the bottom of your screen. He makes a key block out wide, just setting the edge. Lucas Dewey allows him to go inside. Beautiful block from Landon Johnson out wide. Lucas Dewey does the rest, picks up another first down for the Artesians.
And Lucas Dewey finding open space that time through the line as number 10 for Mooresville, Chase Copeland, comes in flying for that tackle.
Yeah, it's a solid tackle there from Copeland. Not sure if we're going to show a replay here, but if we do, number 65, Andrew Carter, made a key pancake block on the edge there that set up Lucas Dewey right in the middle, and he was able to pick up a big big chunk of yardage. Their Artesians now in the red zone.
And Landon Casey coming over for a fake screen pass before he hands it off to Lucas Dewey, who gets a few yards that time.
Again, the Artesians leaning on Dewey heavily early on in this game. You want to set the tone on the ground. And when you got a guy like Lucas Dewey, you got a big old line up front where he can run behind. You usually see some positive yard gains. We've seen that. You got a third and maybe a hair, it looks like. That ball is really close to that first down spot. Looks like the refs are going to give it to him. Yeah, he was really close down there. So the Artesians will have first and goal inside the 10-yard line.
And the Arties, a fresh set of downs here. 1st and 8 until the end zone. The Artesians now in a very favorable position here to even the score. 3:53 left to go in this first quarter. And Braxton, if you're head coach Brian Duggar, you aren't too pleased with how the last drive ended with Mooresville scoring a touchdown. But on this drive, you march to the end zone. Hopefully you get a touchdown. What do you think that does for this Artesian momentum?
It does a lot. Whenever of course, you're a little stagnant offense the opening series, and then you're able to march down the field in the red zone. But you got to finish. You love to see how much your team's moving downfield, but you got to finish. You got to punch it in the end zone here to respond. Because you know how well the Pioneers scored the last drive. So really important that the Artesians can punch this one in.
And speaking of finishing, Lucas Dewey getting tackled just behind the line as he tries another outside run and gets wrapped up that time by multiple Mooresville defenders. Mooresville starting to learn a couple of painful lessons here from Lucas Dewey. Do not let that man get into open space or he will run all over you. As they decide to hand it off again, but Mooresville nearly tackles him behind the line again as he hurdles another man, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Lucas Dewey. And just a nice touchdown there from Lucas Dewey. Yeah. He's so hard to get. Mooresville thought they had him when the defender slipped through that offensive line, but he just slipped through with his quick and agile legs, swept through another few defenders, making him confused, and he sweeps into the end zone for a nice touchdown there, adding on to his total of 7 for the year, making it now 8.
Not sure how he actually got in the end zone there. It looked like he was going behind the line of scrimmage, but somehow he stays on his feet, kind of trips and falls all the way into the end zone. Heck of a response there from the Artesians to tie this one up at 7.
And speaking of tying it up, nice kick there from Charlie Rollins. Just a good, reliable kicker. He himself trying to get a first down yards earlier off a sneaky run play.
Yeah,
after not really wanting to punt it, but unfortunately was not able to make it this time, converting on the extra point there.
Big score for the Artesians. As we mentioned, we think this one it's going to be a good game. And so far, both teams able to find the end zone early in this game. We'll see how the Artesian defense can kind of regroup and try to find a way to stop this Mooresville Pioneer offense.
And here at Siderewicz Field with the beautiful sunset hitting just behind the home bleachers, and with the Fall Foliage Festival lights shining through the night sky just off the horizon. This is an intense rivalry game that is already off to a hot start, Braxton.
Yeah, this is the place to be. You can see it kind of right through the uprights right there. You can see the Ferris wheel going around. You can see the lights going down on the rides. This is a poppin' town on a Friday night. If you're not here at the game, you're over there at the Fall Foliage Festival kind of hanging out, and you can probably hear the game from over there. They probably got this live stream going up over there somewhere, maybe on some phones. So this town alive and well tonight.
And a nice kick there from Charlie Rollins as he pins them all the way to the end zone. But number 27 for Mooresville definitely gaining some yardage there. Number 27, Cooper Jones, the sophomore, 5'5". He is definitely a speedy threat that can just weave his way through defenders and makes it extremely hard to tackle.
Yeah, he's got some wheels. Got some wheels for sure. He got stopped there. Nice flow of the football there from the Artesians. There was a flag. I believe this will probably be on the Pioneers, some sort of illegal block or a hold. So this one will probably come back a little bit farther. They will say holding against the Pioneers, so that'll set them back a little bit farther. Much different field position to when they had it, right around the 45-yard line the series before. So they got their work cut out for them here just inside the 10-yard line.
And definitely not what you love to see if you're head coach Mike Gillen. That first drive, you get favorable field position by stopping the Artesians in a turnover on downs. But now pinned against the end zone is a real test of champions. And let's see if Connor Cruz, Tyler Denny, and the rest of this offensive Mooresville team can try and unbury themselves from this unfavorable position and try and get into scoring range.
Yeah, they're just going to take it one play at a time, kind of like what they did last series. You see what's open, you kind of just feed the ball where people aren't.
And a little bit of a low snap that time goes to Tyler Denny, who breaks out into open space and nearly escaped that time, pushing us all the way up to the 35 inside of their own side of the field. And Tyler Denny, just what an offensive threat that he is.
When he gets going downhill, man, he's a tough guy to stop. He's so quick. And right there, Bradley Wilson made a touchdown saving kind of shoelace tackle, able to trip him up. But, man, when he gets going downhill, those wheels, they can just keep turning. And as he gets farther and farther, it seems like he just goes faster and faster for the Pioneers.
And the Mooresville Pioneers definitely have a lot of rushing threats as well as some deep passing ability with Connor Cruz and their wide array of siblings that they have as wide receivers. Just as you said, a lot of DNA throughout this Mooresville Pioneer.
Yeah, a lot of DNA. Jones tried to get the edge there again. Another quick fella for the Pioneers. He got about 2 on the play there. Looks like we might have a hurt Artesian down on the field. Not sure which one that is. Couldn't really see a number, but we gotta hope he's okay. Injuries, especially late in the year, they start to add up and they start to really hurt football teams. So trying to keep guys healthy. When you see an injury on the field, you always hold your breath. You never know how serious an injury like that may be. Hopefully whoever's down over there is all right. But you got to have your best players healthy when it comes playoff time here in a couple weeks. And injuries late in the year, if they start adding up, they could really take a toll on a football team.
And speaking of playoffs, the 4A division does not have slouches this year. A bunch of schools in contention for that title, especially since New Pal recently just moved up a division.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the Dragons, but there's a lot of other powerhouses that are in the way for both these teams to make their long playoff push. There are a lot of good teams, especially in 4A. I think that was Nathan LaFerry who was shaking up on that play. We got to hope he's okay. He did walk off on his own, so that's a good sign. But you got to hope for the best, and hopefully he's all right.
Definitely not what you'd love to see if you're the Artesians here, but it's just something you're going to have to live with here on defense. Sometimes injuries just happen, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
But now it's time to see if this Artesian defense can solidify, harden up, and keep this Mooresville offense to a few points as they stop Connor Cruz short of the first down that time, which brings up a 3rd down at about 4 yards away from moving the sticks.
Yeah, Cruz had the read option there, decides to keep it, and it seems to be the right decision. He was able to get outside, get the edge, picked up about 5 yards, really close to this first down marker for the Pioneers. You can see Cruz takes a couple of Artesian defenders to kind of bring him down. And Pioneers will set it up here about a 3rd and 2. Big play here on both sides of the ball.
Well, looking at the class of 4A state tournament brought to us by Max Prep, none of it is currently filled out right now. We have not reached postseason yet, no matter how much we get ready to see how much these playoffs go. But Tyler Denny looks to be gone, and he is in for a long touchdown rush there for this Mooresville Pioneer offense. And what a great first quarter we've had so far, Braxton. Just score after score after score.
You can see Denny kind of makes a couple dudes miss, and he is off to the races. Denny, tough guy to bring down, and especially when he gets those wheels turning, he's gone. But it seems like we have another injury on the field.
That looks to be Grady Gardner.
I think it's Lucas, too. I think it's number 8. I can't really see the other side of the number, but I think it is Lucas Dewey, and he looks to be in a lot of pain. See Coach Duggar going out there to check on him. Not a hopeful sight for the Artesians at all. Again, that guy kind of makes his team roll offensively and defensively. He's the main guy to stop him up front,
And this
especially defensively. He's the middle linebacker, of course, the running back. We talked about his crazy stats he's got this year. He's been running the ball for a few years, and he looks pretty shaken up down there on the field.
Both sidelines, as well as the players on the field, down on one knee in a sign of respect to this absolute monster of a running back as he looks to be able to stand up on his own.
He's going to limp off a little bit little gingerly, but you got to hope he's okay. Hopefully he just gets the wind knocked out of him. Looks like he's walking pretty well. Glad he can walk off on his own. Hopefully he is okay, because if not, man, it's a huge blow.
And that does appear to be Lucas Dewey that we can confirm now. Definitely not what you'd love to see.
No, scary, man. Injuries, we talked about them. They can add up and really hurt a football team. So you got to hope number 8 and number 26 on the sideline for the Artesians are both going to be all right.
And a nice extra point conversion that time for Mooresville. Just adding to that scoreboard tally.
Yeah, explosive. Explosive fellas. And when you get Tyler Denny running downhill, better hope you got someone in front of him, because if not, he's just going to go and go and go. Right there, made a couple guys miss all the way to the end zone. The Pioneers jump back on top by 7.
And speaking about New Pal, they are now 4th within the state of Indiana in terms of team strength, behind only Westfield, Carmel, and of course the ever-present champions, Brownsburg.
Yeah, those are some top dogs in the state for sure. Of course, the Artesians last year fell short to the Dragons, who ended up going on and winning the 4A state championship. So they're a powerhouse. Good thing they're not in 4A this year, but I expect them to show up and most likely come out on top there in 5A as well.
And speaking about mid-state opponents, Decatur Central 13 within the state, as Martinsville is set to receive here, trying to get some extra yardage this time, as it looks to be number 36 for the Artesians, Joel Sumner, getting a little bit of a return that time.
Pioneers definitely playing it safe with the kickoffs. They're not taking any chances kicking it back there to Casey and Gardner. They're making these kind of second-level, third-level guys earn it. And so far it's worked out pretty well. You know, you get the ball around the 40, in between the 40 and 35-yard line usually. But would you rather have that or a potential score? So, you know, you got to respect Pioneers' decision here to not let the weapons for the Artesians get going, especially on a kickoff.
And it looks like they'll try to rush forward this time with what appears to be Grady Gardner. He himself a great rushing threat for this Artesian offense, as he gets about 8 that time.
Yeah, and he's just a different running back other than Dewey. You know, not as much of a bigger guy. I mean, he has a really big frame, but not much of a power runner. He's more of a get outside, make a couple guys miss, and you get downfield, he can make some dudes miss. And when he gets going, he can go side to side as well. Solid around there from Casey. Had a couple blockers in front of the Artesians. Like that little jet pass. You know, you get them going in motion, you just do a little hot pass, and you let your playmakers work in space right there. Landon Casey able to get the edge. A couple nice blocks up front. Able to pick up the first down.
And a nice little quick handoff there to Grady Gardner, trying to get to the outside against some yards. And he gets some monster yardage there after it looks like he was going to be taken down for a second.
Yeah, he gets the ball and he goes. And right there, he picked up really close to the first down, but there is a flag. And you got to think this one probably coming back for the Artesians. See Gardner just kind of works outside, then takes it and just goes right uphill. Takes a couple of Pioneers to bring him down. But as we mentioned, this one probably coming back.
However, Mooresville, looking at the Division IV rankings inside the state of Indiana, Mooresville only 2 spots below the Martinsville Artesians, as it does look like the leader right now in 4A is Indianapolis Bishop Chatard, followed by Pendleton Heights, Roncalli, East Noble, and Lowell.
Yeah, they some tough dudes in the 4A. Bishop Chatard up there in little northern part of Indy, up by Butler University, where I go to school, so I drive past there a lot. And yeah, Chatard's been a powerhouse for quite a long time. And they used to be 3A, kind of bumped up to 4A. They've been floating around that area, and they just continue to produce. They got good dudes every year, and they're always up to par. Looks
and
like
that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. You are watching Martinsville versus Mooresville on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSA TV. We will see you after this short break.
Ladies and gentlemen, please draw your attention to the track.
At Home Bank, we value our communities. Homegrown. Home style. team. Home for the holidays. Your new home. Because at the end of the day, this is your bank. And when a bank really understands your needs, you feel at home.
Inspired by touch, by play, by listening and laughter. Inspired by family gatherings and one-on-one conversations. Inspired by long walks, long lives, and lives simply lived well. Inspired by compassion, by healing, by grace and strength.
We are back here at Siderewicz Field. They just honored the Artesian boys soccer team who had one heck of a season. They won the Mid-State, fell short to Bloomington South a couple nights ago.
And it does look like Grady gets some nice yardage that time. 2nd and 16 was where the sticks were, but now it looks like he moved it at least 10 yards up to a 3rd and 4 situation. Definitely a nice run there from Grady Gardner.
Yeah, number 9, he just knows where to run the ball right there. You can see kind of makes a couple guys miss, and he just goes downhill so well. Grady Gardner just flying around, making some big plays here for the Artesians.
Looks like the Artesians trying to get Mooresville to jump here, but Mooresville just not budging. They're staying disciplined, and they're staying hungry, and they're just trying to make this Martinsville Artesian offense mess up. And it looks like to be another handoff to Grady Gardner, but he gets wrapped up well within the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage, and he gets taken down after only a 1 or 2 yard gain.
Yeah, Coach Duggar going to have to roll the dice here. What does he want to do? You got about a 4th and 2. You're in Mooresville territory. Interesting thing, the Pioneers, I don't think they've, the Artesians, I don't think they've aired it out at all this year, at all this game. They've been leaning on the ground game thus far.
Yeah,
Flag was thrown.
Who this will be on is entirely up to the refs.
Looks like sideline warning against the Pioneers. So since it was a warning, they won't get any yards. But the Pioneers got to be careful over there. They looked
too much energy on the sidelines can cost you.
Coach Gillen fired up over there. Got to be careful.
Looks like a fake screen pass there to Casey that time, just trying to get Mooresville to jump here, trying to get them to be undisciplined, but they're just not budging.
So you got Lucas Dewey back in the backfield. Again, he's a guy who's going to get some yards if he needs them. Dewey's going to get the handoff. He's going to get it and some.
And Lucas Dewey moving the sticks that time for this Artesian offense. Great to see him back out there as an Artesian first down.
Yeah, Dewey just so smart with the football. You know, he had the scare earlier. We thought he may be injured, but a tough kid. Tough kid comes right back in there on a 4th and 2 with huge things at stake, and he just puts the foot in the ground and goes and gets that big first down.
And this Artesian offense, having scored on their last drive, but have gotten stopped on their first. It looks like they have slightly figured out this Mooresville defense here, but still have a few key things they need to figure out if they want to crack the code and try and break open this game.
And again, this offense has really been run heavy early on in this game, followed by number 8 right there. Grady Gardner's had some touches as well. But Lucas doing that last run, kind of dances around in the backfield, sees where his linemen are going to block. Once he sees a couple holes, and he just goes. And right there, able to pick up a few yards on that first down play.
And speaking of the run game, I don't think a single forward pass has been thrown this game.
No, that's what I kind of thought. I mean, the Artesian's been running the ball a lot. So if you're the Pioneers, you kind of know what to expect. But you never know when the Artesian's going to let this thing fly. So you got to be aware. You know this Artesian team is capable of throwing the ball. We know what kind of game Landon Casey had last week. I mean, he had, 3 touchdowns, I believe, against the Parameridian Falcons. He had himself a night.
Yeah, just a monster game for him. 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, most of his yardage for the year. Just what a sneaky weapon he can be when deployed in the right way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a young guy. He's got another year left to come back and do some pretty special stuff. But so far, a lot of hope with their Landon Casey, number 2. He's got a bright future ahead of him. A couple of these Artesian players got 1 more year left. The quarterback, Chase Davis, he'll be back next year. Big fella up front. Kyson Button, one of the star O-lineman. He'll be back next year as well. So, you know, you lose a lot next year, but again, you got some weapons coming back as well.
And, you know, that's just kind of the pain of only having 4 years to make an impact. If you don't get on the field your freshman year, you feel like, you know, your time's getting shortened every single game you don't play. Your time to make an impact on this school and these people that have helped raise you to try and be this football player that helps create a winning team and a winning culture here.
Yeah, and you play all your life, you know, MJFL, all those long nights, and it comes down to 1, maybe 2, usually, on average, seasons of big Friday night lights on the lights. So you got to take advantage of them. Again, as you mentioned, you don't get many. A lot of people get 1. Some people get 2. If you're lucky, you get 3 or 4. But most of those younger guys have been playing on Saturday mornings. So if you get a shot at this Friday night lights, you got to take advantage and make the most of your opportunities.
And another handoff to Dewey as he tries to push forward for that first down, but he might not have gotten there.
It's going to be close. I think they might want to measure this. I don't know. They're going to give it to him. That one really close, but they will give him the first down.
And just a nice job pushing forward from that extra inch to gain that first down and moving the sticks.
Yeah, and Lucas Dewey, as I mentioned, just a vision. Knows where the sticks are, knows where to fall down, and able to pick up a big first down to keep this drive alive.
And Landon Casey, nice little screen pass there. Gets taken down after about 1 or 2 though that time. Mooresville just not being fooled. They know when a screen pass is coming as they run it frequently themselves.
Yeah, it's one of the Artesians' favorite plays in the playbook. Give it to their weapons, specifically in the slot with Casey. Maybe that'd be Gardner if he comes in. But whenever they do those jet passes, typically works out. And defenses try to sniff them out, but really hard play to stop.
And it looks like we will get a forward pass here, but it is nearly intercepted that time. Maybe a little pass interference that time by Mooresville, but the refs don't seem to be calling it.
Yeah, there was some collision. Not sure if it was caused by the Artesians or not. That it was the first pass they did try to complete tonight in the second quarter already. First pass, finally thrown by the Artesians, was not successful. Now you got a 3rd and long. Look for maybe a screen. You can't forget Potteroff, who may try to slip the tight end in the open field. Got to see you got 3 up at the top of your screen. The Artesians think about feeding it there. They don't. Throw it to Potteroff. What a catch!
What a nice little spin move there from Potteroff. Just try and secure that catch, get away from that Mooresville defender at the same time, and push this Artesian offense forward into the end zone range.
Yeah, Potteroff played a lot of D-line. You know, last year he was a defensive lineman, and this year they switched him to tight end. He's made some big catches. You know, last week he had a couple huge catches and some touchdowns, but this week right there, that's a huge 3rd down catch there from Potteroff. He's shown that his hands never fail when they need him. They throw it up to the big fella, able to pick up the first down.
And this Mooresville team just rallying and collapsing on top of Lucas Dewey, as they know they cannot allow him to get an inch of breathing room or else he is gone.
Yeah, I mean, powerful runner. He gets going downhill. Look out. Artesians now inside the 10-yard line. They got 3 plays to try and get it in the end zone.
Jace Davis trying to get some of the Mooresville players to jump right there. 2nd and 8 here for the Artesians, just trying to get it into this end zone and tie up the game. With about 8 minutes left to go here before the half. And a little bit of an overthrow there by Chase Davis. Just a little bit too much juice into that one.
Yeah, they tried to set up a fake handoff. They did have some dudes slipping in the end zone, but just overthrown. There wasn't much open there for Potteroff to work with. But Davis, you know, smart throw. You throw it around the back of the end zone. So only your guy can make a heck of a catch, or if not, it's going out of bounds. So no, doesn't risk an interception, especially when you work all the way, get down the field. You don't want to do anything silly and gift the Pioneers the ball.
Chase Davis talking a little with head coach Brian Duggar for the Artesians. And do you think Brian Duggar might be a little aggressive here on 3rd and 8 here, Braxton?
I have a feeling. So he called the timeout, so you got to think he's going to draw up something to try to get in the end zone. You know you have a reliable kicker that you can lean towards if you need him, in Charlie Rollins, who has hit some field goals this year, but you want to get 6. You know, you want to get it in the end zone. So you got to think the Artesians probably going to take a shot here in the air of some sort to try and get it in the end zone. And 6 looks a lot better than 3, I'll tell you that.
And you got to think, with the way Duggar plays, you could call him a bit more aggressive, a bit more of a mad scientist when it comes to drawing up plays, just trying to create stuff nobody has any preparation for, as it's just so hard to prepare for an offense that in and of itself is very, very flexible, can run any type of play with any type of route or screen.
Yeah, and they got a lot in their playbook too. You know, they got a lot of dudes they can lean on. They got a lot of creative plays, as you mentioned, that can try and throw some defenses off track. And do we see one of those right now in this game? I'm not sure, but you know, they got the option. I expect this ball would probably go to one of their playmakers. Watch number 2, Landon Casey. He might try to expect, if they are going to throw it, I would watch number 2 in some sort of a route, maybe a corner. They try to get him in the back of the end zone. Looks like they may be doubling him, so they may not try to throw it to Landon Casey. I don't know. We'll see. Does Landon Potteroff slip in the end zone? We'll see.
It looks like they do send Potteroff in motion as he throws it over to Potteroff, but it is just a little short, and Potteroff can't get his hands on it as Mooresville gets a nice little deflection there over on the left side of the field.
That's a heck of a defensive play. You know, you send Potteroff in motion from the right side all the way to the left, and he doesn't stop. You know, you got LaFerry running the slant route, try to clear out some room, and they try to hit Potteroff with the wheel right up the corner of the end zone there, but well defended by the Pioneers. They were right there where they needed to be. So Charlie Rollins, big kick on the line here, try to get 3 on the board.
And Charlie Rollins, just a great kicker, as I've stated before. Definitely a great completion percentage as he nails another one that time, just straight through the uprights.
You know, it's always nice when you got
efficient field goal scorer.
When you got a guy like Charlie Rollins, yeah, you can always lean on when you get close to the red zone. If you can't quite punch it in, say, hey, 16, go give me 3, and he does it right there. Artesians cut the deficit to 4, but defensively, they're gonna have to step up. You know, you got 8 minutes to go. Pioneer offense has just been really clicking on all cylinders, and this defense for the Artesians is gonna have to find a way to get them off the field.
And then, of course, showing you the oncoming Artesian kickoff team, as it looks like on your screen is number 30 for the Artesians, Fisher Dunscombe.
Dunscombe, one of the seniors we heard called tonight for senior night. So again, a lot on the line. Anytime you have a senior night matchup, just means a little more. You know, one of your last guaranteed games on Siderewicz Field, you want to make it a good one. And Artesians try and do that tonight, but they got a tough task ahead of them. Pioneers came out swinging. Defense of the Artesians trying to find a way to stop this Pioneer team.
And sundown coming a little earlier than past games, it
Yeah.
looks like, as the Fall Foliage Festival lights continue to shine with that amazing Ferris wheel in the background as the Artesians do a little bit of a punt here to try and throw off this Mooresville return team,
Yeah,
as
just
it looks
kinda-
like they all have to scramble to kind of fall on top of that ball.
Yeah, they just kind of pooch it up right in the middle of this Pioneer return team. And they did fumble it. They bobbled the catch, but a couple guys behind them able to fall on it. So both teams not necessarily kicking it deep all the time, as we've seen, especially on the kickoffs.
Well, when you take into consideration that the speed both returners have,
Can't
just
blame
getting
them,
way in
you
the
know.
back, just kicking it really far doesn't seem like the best option
Yeah.
for either team right now. You just got to pooch it every single kick.
Anytime you can get a playmaker in open grass, it's usually going to be a good sign for the return team. Both teams elect to not let that happen.
And a nice little read option there for Connor Cruz, the quarterback, as he gets about 8 that time for a 2nd and 2.
And one thing I've noticed from the Pioneers, Connor Cruz, as you can see at the top of your screen, he goes all the way close to the sideline every single play, and you can see the receiver kind of signals in what he's doing. But Connor Cruz, I mean, he gets a lot of steps in on a Friday night, just going back and forth and back and forth. You got to wonder, will that just endurance kind of take a toll on him, just because you're going back and forth all the time? And when you got a quarterback like Connor Cruz who runs the ball a lot, you know, you got to think maybe does run to the sideline, does you kind of get wear down after a while? I guess we'll have to see.
And a nice little run there by Tyler Denny as he just keeps pushing his way forward to near about the 47 on their side of the field. Just Tyler Denny, just such a beast when it comes to pushing that line forward, making big plays.
And you know, he's not a Lucas Dewey where he's just going to run people over, you know, get downhill. He's more the speedster. But when he gets in open space, it's a scary sight for defense. Right there, they kind of contain him right around the sticks. He was able to pick up the first.
looks like it'll be another run play there for Tyler Denny. He gets about 9 that time. This Artesian defense just not ready for him, as this Mooresville O-line keeps creating space for him, and he just keeps abusing it over and over and over
They
again.
are. I mean, they're creating some solid holes, and he just puts his foot down and goes. He goes so fast in those holes, and again, takes a couple of Artesians to kind of slow him down, and then they eventually bring him down. But those big first down yardage plays, and you get a 2nd and 1 like this, as I mentioned, it opens the playbook. You know, you can take a shot here in a 2nd and 1. You don't have to worry about the field position just because you have 1 yard to lean back on a 3rd down.
And it looks like they will be trying to take a quarterback under center play here. Maybe just a little bit of an Eagles tush-push type play.
Let Cruz, the big fella, just get it and go right there. And they got it pretty safely as well. Again, Pioneers wasting a lot of clock. You know, you got to think they probably want to score, and they want to score with as much time as possible on the clock before halftime. Pioneers do get the ball at halftime, so if they're able to score and get the ball, this could be a huge advantage for the Pioneers if they can keep this thing rolling.
And Cruz now stepping back as he finds a wide open receiver on the left, number 13, Keegan Birch, the sophomore, 6'3", 170 pounds.
Yeah, Birch just kind of runs free on the sideline. He had some separation. Nice throw there from the quarterback, able to just stick it right to his lower shoulder, and he kind of does the rest. You can see Cruz just kind of sticks it right there where it needs to be. Artesian's a little late closing that football. Big first down pick up there for the Pioneers.
And just what a roll this Mooresville team is on. Already a possession up, and we only have 5.5 minutes till halftime.
Yeah, they're rolling. They are rolling. Artesian offense. Artesian defense really struggling to stop this offense.
And it looks like the Artesians trying to wrap him up there behind the line. Jackson Denny, the brother of Tyler Denny, both number 1 and number 2. A little bit of a 1-2 punch here for this Mooresville team.
Yeah, it's a heck of a tackle by Reese Wolf. He kind of met him in the backfield and just hung on for dear life until some other Artesians could come and clean it up. But I mean, he's a quick fella. You know, he gets around the edge. Pretty dangerous. Dangerous runner for the Pioneers.
I mean, if you can just get a hand on one of those Denny brothers, that could be enough to just kind of slow him down enough to try and bring another Artesian in, try and wrap him up, get him at the line or behind the line even. As it looks like it'll be another run for Tyler Denny, who pushes and slithers his way forward past the line. The Artesians thought they had him, and they just underestimated his ability to slither out of their grasp and just gain extra yardage.
Yeah, just really slippery, you know, just kind of jig-jagging his way through this Artesian defense, able to keep this thing rolling. You pick up a first down. Again, clock running right around 4:40 to go here before halftime. Pioneers have control.
And it would be possible to pick up a first down without scoring,
Yep.
but that's pretty unlikely considering it's at the 1 yard line. Connor Cruz faking the handoff again on a nice read option, and Cruz is in again, nearly doubling his touchdown total rushing on the year with another touchdown tonight. And just what a monster game he's having against their biggest rivals, the Martinsville Artesians.
Yeah, you know, I kind of questioned the endurance of Connor Cruz, but so far he does not look to lose a step at all. I mean, he is just quick, and whenever he had that option to keep it, he just took it and put the feet down, and he just zoomed into that end zone untouched.
And just nice plays here by Connor Cruz and the Denny brothers. They seem to be putting this Mooresville team on their back in this first half.
Yeah, those are two dudes that Pioneers lean heavily on, and they produce. And they produce week in and week out. And thus far tonight, they're putting on a really good performance. Pioneers on top big here, 21, 210 double digits. And the Artesians really need a response. Just under 4 minutes to go in regulation. Looks like about actually 4:20. So they got time to score, and this is a big drive. You know, the Pioneers, as I mentioned, they get the ball coming out of half, so they can get some points on the board here and get a big stop coming out of half. They're right in this thing.
And it does look like we will have the classic backfield duo of Grady Gardner and Landon Casey, the speedster.
Yeah, they might as well
far end of the field.
Might as well move those dudes to second level, because I doubt they're getting any touches here tonight thus far. I mean, they've been kicking it as far away as possible from them. Expect them to do the same right here.
I mean, their poochers so far have been close to onside kicks almost.
Yeah.
Mooresville just trying to get their hands on it every single time, as they do look to be kicking it a little deeper this time, straight to Landon Casey, who's trying to use his quick feet on this, and he nearly gets wrapped up there by a Mooresville defender before slipping it and then getting wrapped up around the 35.
Yeah, Casey, we thought he may have a burst of speed there, but a pretty good of staying in your lanes there for the Pioneers. You know, you don't want to let them get outside, and they were able to force them back inside where a lot of white jerseys were able to bring them down.
And Chase Davis not having too bad a game here himself, only having a couple of forward passes and screen passes over to Casey and other various targets, as he has another quick pass there over to Potteroff, only able to get about 1, maybe 2 yards on that gain, as it looks like Duggar's trying to be a little bit more aggressive here going into halftime.
Yeah, you know, they try to air it out. Davis didn't see anything deep he likes. You know, you kind of just dump it down in a flat to Potteroff, able to pick up a few, but not a huge chunk of yards there for the Artesians.
And Chase Davis, a nice little handoff to do there as he just finds wide open space enough for an Artesian first down. And just what nice job there separating that defensive line by the Artesians, just allowing Dewey to slip right through. You could drive a truck through how much space they created through that O-line.
Just gets it and go, right? I mean, he just gets it and goes downhill. And again, if you're in front of number 8, I feel sorry for you because he's gonna make you feel it the next day.
It looks like Dewey getting a little bump there by his own offensive line, just
Yeah.
getting a little stumble there.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to give his offensive line a little bit of a burst. You know, it looks like he ran into him, kind of catapulted him forward. But, I mean, still, with the run like that, able to pick up 3.
About 3 minutes to go here until halftime. The Artesians at about midfield as Chase Davis looks over to his right, gets it to number 82, who tries to find space but gets taken down that time. Number 82 for the Artesians, Landon Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson, the young fellow, only a sophomore, getting some big plays here for the Artesians. He's been out wide all night, and that's a big catch right there, giving him a third manageable situation.
And another handoff to Dewey, it looks like, trying to find his way forward for that first down, and he gets it.
Yeah, Dewey just, as I mentioned, just great vision. Knows where the sticks are, kind of prances around in the backfield, and just goes and gets it. Artesians, another first down, clock ticking, 2:30 and counting to go in this second quarter.
I mean, Braxton, you got to think, if you're Duggar here, you just got to try and get as many passing plays out as possible. But with such a monster in your backfield like Lucas Dewey, you can't exactly ignore him forever.
Johnson.
As it looks like another deep pass for Johnson. And
What a
he is
play.
caught around the 10-yard line by the Mooresville defender, number 20 for Mooresville. Tristan Burdine catches him just before the end zone. Landon Johnson. What a big play by the sophomore.
What a route, what a throw. You got the hitch and go. Chase does a great job getting the corner to bite. You know, you get a little fake pass in there, and then Johnson. How about the young cat with some couple big catches here in this second quarter, able to get the Artesians inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line. Pioneers
Seem to be calling their first time out here.
looks like they may not call a timeout. Not sure what the whistle was for. Coach Duggar kind of talked to his fellas for a little bit, then they kind of rushed them out.
Definitely a little strange here for the Artesians.
Now, if I'm the Artesians, you obviously want to score. You want to waste as much clock as possible, too. You know how quickly this Pioneer team can score.
Cannot give this Pioneer team a single inch of daylight to look through.
It looks like their team will take their time. We are under 2 minutes to play here in this second quarter.
And a little bit of a low snap there to Chase Davis. Lucas Dewey trying to find space. Gets down at around the 5. Gets about 3, maybe 4 yards that time. And a 2nd and 5 it is.
Gonna really like the spot their teams are in. Again, the clock's ticking. You're wasting a lot of time. And all you gotta do is punch it in the end zone here.
And even though if they do score, the Artesians will be down going into halftime, I still do believe it is a favorable position to have if you're the Artesians, as we know how big of a comeback team they are.
Yeah.
Under head coach Brian Duggar. Amazing comebacks they've had last year and this year. just having a great time around in the second half, but Dewey looks to be wrapped up early that time. The defense not allowing him a single inch of breathing room as they force him back to the line of scrimmage.
So the Artesians had a guy in a flat. Potteroff kind of slipped out to the right there. Looked like he was open, but they decided to hand that one off for a loss of yards there. So now you got 50 seconds and counting before halftime. Pioneers, it looks like the Artesians will call a timeout.
Definitely a little strange if you're head coach Brian Duggar, because the Pioneers could call a timeout of their own, pause time again, try and get as much time for this Pioneer defense, offense, as possible.
Yep, not sure. There's some confusion on the offensive side of the ball for the Arties, but they will call a timeout, try to get things straightened out. Again, this is a big possession. You want to march it in the end zone. You're down 11, so you can cut this thing to 4. That would be huge going into halftime. Again, the Pioneers do get the ball coming out of half, so a score here would go a long way for the Artesians.
And, of course, the floodlights shining brightly here on Siderewicz Field. 50 seconds to go till halftime here on senior night as the Battle of the M continues. And, Braxton, what does this rivalry mean to you here in your time playing at Siderewicz Field under head coach Brian Duggar?
It's huge, man. You know, you got the Purple People week 2. But, you know, after that, you're kind of eyeing this game on the calendar. You're thinking about the Pioneers, of course. Trophy game, the only trophy game there is in the regular season. So it does mean more. And you kind of circle this game. It usually falls on senior night, whether it be for the Pioneers, whether they're at home or the Artesians. So, you know, there's just some extra added juices. You know, the rivalry obviously makes that a little bit even more special.
And it looks like it'll be a run to Casey as he pushes his way forward at about the 2. Just a little bit short of that end zone that time. Wonder if the Artesians will go for it here on fourth down, or if they're bringing Charlie Rollins.
I think you got to. You know, you're down 11. Artesians not in a hurry here, because wherever they score or not, Pioneers will have however much time on the clock remaining. But expect them to probably try to get him to jump, and then Duggar may call a timeout here down with around 3 or 4 seconds on the clock. I think that's what they most likely will do. You may try to get him to jump one more time, but if not, Coach Duggar probably going to call a timeout here with around 2 seconds to go, maybe on the play clock. Yep, there you go. It's at 2 seconds, and they will call a timeout. 5 seconds to go in the game.
5 seconds to go. Definitely a very tense time here at Siderewicz Field. The crowd going a little bit silent here as you can feel the emotion rising in the stadium.
It's a huge play. I'm not sure what Coach Duggar is going to draw up, but it's going to be one of his better ones. You know, I'm not sure if they're going to air it out. You got a long 3 to go to get to the end zone. So you run the ball and try to punch it in. You know, if you don't, you know, that can be really, really killer. You know, do you lean on the passing game, let Davis kind of roll out, try to slip someone in the flat? You know, you only got to pass it 3 yards. So if I'm the Pioneers, I'm watching number 11, Landon Potteroff. He could definitely slip in the flat and maybe score a touchdown here. But you got to respect everything. I see Charlie Rollins on the field as well. So they got a lot of options. Pioneers not sure if they're kicking this thing, if they're throwing it. Nevertheless, Artesians need some points here. Rollins will come off. So they will go for it. 5 seconds to go before halftime. 4th and 3 yards before you reach the end zone. And this is, thus far, the play of the game. You got to buckle down here, get a big play.
Definitely going to be one of the plays we're going to circle back to here after the game, as it looks to be a rollout for Chase Davis, and he barrels his way into the end zone. Chase Davis for that wide open touchdown with 1.3 seconds here left to go as Siderewicz Field is rocking with emotion.
Huge score. Huge score. Just, you had to have thought maybe you get a little rollout action. You know, you have options. You can dump it off the Potteroff. You had another receiver streaking in the back of the end zone, but again, you can't underestimate Chase Davis. You know, he's a competitor. He's going to want to go out there and make the big play. Right there, makes the right decision. Both receivers were covered pretty well. And Davis with some guts right there, try to punch it in. Nice little spin move at the end to make sure he gets in the end zone. What a huge score for the Artesians. You know, you don't get that. Pioneers will get the ball up 11 at a halftime, but not so much anymore. Artesians cut the lead to 4, 17, 2:21 with 1 second remaining on the clock before halftime. Huge score. Huge score there for the Artesian. Fireworks booming here at Siderewicz Field.
And, of course, not much time after the return, if any at all, as it looks like this will be the last play of the game after Charlie Rollins kicks it off.
Yeah, unless they fair catch this thing out of there, you got to think their team's probably going to squib this thing, keep it on the ground, make the clock roll into halftime. You got to be pretty content with the way this Mooresville team has been striking on all cylinders. You know, you're only down 4. This Artesian offense really started clicking ever since that first drive and able to get points on every possession. So like I mentioned, most likely going to be the last play of this first half. Artesian's probably going to keep this ball rolling on the ground, so the Pioneers have to pick it up, and when they do, that clock will most likely expire.
And what a game we've been privy to see here tonight. So far, right before halftime, 21-17 in the Pioneers' favor, but still a very emotion-packed, energy-filled stadium here at Siderewicz Field as both sides of the ball get ready to kick it off here for the last play of the game, as it does look like to be a little pooch. They fair catch it there.
Yeah, well, they do fair catch it, so they'll have a play. Now, whether they'll need this thing or try to get another huge yard play, we're not sure. But Pioneers will have control right here before halftime. They'll have one more play. See how far they can get. Artesians playing a pretty safe sort of defense. Most kind of looks like a prevent. You know, you got 3 guys deep. You got a couple guys out in the middle area. You know, they're probably only going to rush 3 here if they do try to air this thing out.
And if you are Mooresville head coach Mike Gillen, what do you think is your plan? Just to throw a Hail Mary, hope for the best?
If I'm Coach Gillen, I'm just getting the ball to Denny, and you know, Denny, go try and score. You know, whether it be a run up the middle, just give him an open field right there. He has a chance, but making some guys miss. It won't get to the end zone, but that will take us to halftime as the Artesians will trail the Pioneers 21-7. Pioneers will get the ball coming out of halftime. You are watching Martinsville Artesian football here on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSAA TV.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Emma and Jake's just baby-proof their 2-bedroom bungalow to prepare for baby number 1 insurance. We're good at Madeline and Chance's just gave in and became minivan people to make room for baby number 2 insurance. And we're good at Gabby and Nate's just moved to a house with a bigger backyard to welcome fur baby number 3 insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
A 4-year member of the marching band, and a 7-year member of the JV and varsity guard. She plans on attending Purdue University or Marion University to study biomedical engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria Hinchman. Our next senior is Caleb Lehman. Caleb is being escorted by Rick and Bobby Lehman. He is a member of the percussion section, a 5-year member of the marching band, and a 4-year member of the winter drum line. Caleb plans on attending a university to pursue a degree in music education. Ladies and gentlemen, Caleb Lehman. Now introducing senior Lily Parker. Lily is being escorted by her parents, Tom and Christy Parker. She is a color guard member, a 4-year member of the marching band, and a 5-year member of the varsity guard. Lily plans on attending a university to pursue a degree in history and political science. Ladies and gentlemen, Lily Parker. Our next speaker is Grace Rouser. Grace is being escorted by her parents, Patrick and Melissa Rouser. She is a color guard member, a 4-year member of the marching band, and a 3-year member of the varsity guard. Grace plans to attend college to begin her studies in law. Ladies and gentlemen, Grace Rouser. Our next senior is Anthony Rush. Anthony is being escorted by Shauna and Tony Minnick. He is a member of the front ensemble, a 4-year member of the marching band, and a 4-year member of the winter drumline. Anthony plans on attending Purdue University or Vincennes University to study agricultural engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Rush. Our next senior is Jack Singer. Jack is being escorted by his parents, Doug and Tiffany Singer. He is a trumpet player and a 5-year member of the marching band. Jack has already enlisted in the United States Marine Corps and will be heading to Parris Island next summer. Jack will take the grit and commitment learned during his 5 years in the marching band to the next step in his life, standing with his brothers in the Corps. Congratulations, Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Singer. Our next senior is Caitlin Thacker. Caitlin is being escorted by her mom, Karen Thacker, and her grandmother, Deborah Shelsky. She is the drum major of the Marching Artesians, a flute player, a 4-year member of the marching band, and a 4-year member of the winter drumline. She plans on attending Ball State University to begin her studies in zoology. Ladies and gentlemen, Caitlin Thacker. Our last senior is Kyle Tuttle. Kyle is being escorted by his parents, Brad and Rachel Tuttle. He is a member of the front ensemble, a 2-year member of the marching band, and a 1-year member of the winter drumline. Kyle is still figuring out his future plans, but we know he will accomplish great things. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Tuttle. And now, fans, time to put your hands together and make noise for this incredibly talented group. We thank the seniors and their parents for their years of hard work and dedication to the marching band and to the music department of Martinsville High School. We wish them all the very best in their future endeavors. Congratulations, seniors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the track for a performance from your Martinsville High School dance team.
Faith. To believe in something as though it already existed. The smoke will never clear.
Baby, welcome to the party. I hate the way y'all look at us seeing around. Baby, welcome to the party.
We never lack with that strap. I'm a drive through, we back, it's gon' clap, and that's that. And I'm a tap, if I don't like it. You act like you like it, though. But backtrack if I ain't, cause you pop. Want some more?
Baby, don't trip. Just lower your tone. Cause you can get hard.
I'm always right. So much. And I know I'm fine.
Gentlemen, your Martinsville Artesian dance team. Now taking the field is the Martinsville Marching Artesian Band. The Marching Artesians are under the direction of drum majors Caitlin Thacker and Raylan Ghost Matos. Tonight, the Marching Artesians present their competition show, War and Peace, featuring the Beatles' classic song, Let It Be, and original music by Ian Grom and John May. Ladies and gentlemen, the Martinsville Marching Artesian Band.
Pursuit of peace is not as dramatic as the pursuit of war. peace do I mean, and what kind of a peace do we seek? Not merely peace in our time, peace in all time.
Artesian Band. The marching band staff features visual designer Jason Palmer. Instructors are James Powell, Doug Singer, Josh Fullerton, Josh Felt, Briar Brown, and Greg Pearson. The band director is Ken Bell. The marching Artesian Band will be competing at the ISSMA prelims at Whiteland Community High School tomorrow, and their performance time is 3:59 p.m. Good luck, Marching Artesians. The Marching Artesians would like to thank the community of Martinsville, the Red Blue Crew, the athletic department, and the MSD of Martinsville for their outstanding support. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Miracle Minute. Members from the Dance Marathon will be walking in the bleacher area seeking donations for Riley Hospital. Please feel free to donate and assist Riley kids.
Hello and welcome back to Siderewicz Field here on the campus of Martinsville High School. The fall foliage lights shining, the senior students bright like the night sky as we are here to enjoy a second half of football. Pioneers up 21-17. Of course, 30 seconds until we kick off again, and you got to think, with the Pioneers getting the ball to start off the second half, do you really think these Artesians got to clamp up and hurry to start up the second half on the right note?
You know, absolutely. You know, this offense, or excuse me, this defense for the Artesians hasn't found an answer for this Pioneers team. Every single time they've had the ball, they've scored. You know, you obviously don't count the last one when they had a second left run to play, but other than that, I mean, they've been scoring right and left. You know, this defense hasn't had an answer thus far, and if you're going to want to win this game, you're going to have to get a stop. You know, you're trailing behind on the scoreboard by 4, so you got to come out specifically this opening possession, set the tone early. You know, let them know how this second half is going to be. You're going to have to get a stop if you want to hang in this ball game, because the offense, after that first series, they've scored. They've shown they can score. They've got, you know, a touchdown, a field goal, and another touchdown. So they've shown they can, you know, move the ball. But this defense is going to have to step up and make some big plays.
And, of course, some of the key playmakers on the defensive side, Adam Branham, 3 interceptions on the year, just a turnover machine, as well as 29 tackles. just what a great job he is doing on that side of the ball, along with Reese Wolf, 32 total tackles, 4 of them for loss, and a sack lunch to go along with it, as well as a fumble recovery in earlier games. And finally, Joel Sumner having his own little moments here in this game with a return on a punt, as well as 20 tackles, 5 of them for loss, and a sack lunch.
You know, and obviously, you've heard of those dudes throughout the season. They can make big plays. And last week, we talked about Adam Branham making 2 interceptions. This is going to be one of those games where you're going to have to make a defensive player get one of those big plays. You know, you're going to have to cause a turnover. Somehow, thus far, both teams play very clean football. You know, we haven't seen a lot of flags, no turnovers thus far this game. So, I guess if you count the turnover on downs. But other than that, I mean, both teams have been playing pretty clean football, and both defenses have struggled. Both offenses seem to be clicking on all cylinders. But specifically, some of those guys you talked about, Adam Branham, Reese Wolf, one of those guys stepping up, getting an interception, or forcing a fumble, or just stopping them on a 4th down, making them punt. Because it's going to come down to who's going to make some bigger plays. And right now, we know the Artesians have playmakers that can make those plays. And someone's going to have to step up and make a big play. Because right now, this Pioneer offense is getting everything they want. So who's going to step up when they need them? And we're about to find out. You can see both referees right there around the 50 chatting it up. Just getting ready. About 20 seconds. And so we will kick this one off. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, the Pioneers will receive coming out of halftime. So that's a big plus for the Pioneers. You know, you get the ball. Obviously, the way this offense has been playing, you wanna have the ball in their hands, and they're going to get the chance to set the tone once again. Let's see if the Artesians can finally have an answer for this Pioneer offense. They've been a lot of weapons. You know, we talked about the RPO with Connor Cruz. You know, he can run the ball anytime he wants, and then he can dump it off to Tyler Denny, and then you got to watch deep for Jackson Denny. I mean, there's just so many weapons that this Pioneer team has, and they've shown that they can use them at all different points of the field. Rollins set to boot this one for the Artesians.
And I mean, for those who've been keeping up with this live stream, definitely had a rise and fall of emotions very rapidly, almost like a roller coaster. Just every single score, every single possession
oh my gosh,
seems to hold something new along, and it seems to be holding here as the Artesians seem to have come up with the football on that play, but we'll see what the referees rule here.
Artesians will get it. Wow, what a play call from Coach Duggar. We talked about how they're going to have to make something happen. They're going to have to make a big play. And right there, Charlie Rollins. They see the front line backed up just a little bit. And Charlie Rollins with the kick of his life right there, a little boot, able to fall on it. But the refs are having a chat on the 50-yard line. You know, we kind of had a good angle. We had a replay there. I'm not sure. Maybe did it not go past the 50? Maybe that's what they're chatting about, and they will. Artesians will get the football. What a huge play opening up this ball game here in the second half.
And those assistant coaches down there celebrating with the players as well, as head coach Brian Duggar has to be pleased with how that play turned out.
What a play call. You know they're talking at halftime. How are we gonna make a stop? What are we gonna do to change, to try steal a possession or something like that? And right there, just right out the gate, setting the tone with an onside kick in recovery. That's huge. Absolutely huge.
And Chase Davis doing what he's been doing all game, just draining that clock, trying to get this Mooresville team to jump off sides, but they remain disciplined.
Yeah,
and that has to be something that pleases Mike Gillum.
Yeah, you probably work on it all week in practice. You know, a team like the Artesians likes to go on those no plays. You got to be disciplined, and I'm sure they practice it, 4 days a week when they come into a game like this.
And Lucas Dewey, I think, that time getting about 3 yards on that play. 2nd and 7, possibly. 2nd and 6, my mistake. Lucas Dewey getting 4 yards on that play. Chase Davis still trying to make that team jump off sides.
Davis will look to the sideline for Coach Duggar.
And today, definitely not as cold as years past, but could definitely still get colder if the Artesians make it into sectionals, as it looks like Chase Davis will loft one over to Casey, who nearly has an incredible catch, but it just slips through his fingers that time. Landon Casey on your screen now. He looks to be disappointed not in being able to hold on to that ball.
Yeah, it wasn't the clearest route concept. You know, you had Landon Johnson run a little slant route and Casey running the wheel route, but they kind of collided, and that kind of interrupted the timing. It's still a catchable ball. You know, he had an opportunity to catch. You can see at the bottom of your screen, they kind of got caught up there. Casey tried to climb the ladder up top to catch that one, but just over his head. So now the Artesians, you know, you're in that 3rd and 6 situation. This is a big play.
And Chase Davis doing what he does best, milking that clock before handing it off to Dewey, who just rumbles forward and gets that first down easily for this Artesian offense. And man, what a threat he's been today, just rushing again and again and again. And this Mooresville rushing defense just not being able to stop him.
Yeah, what a run there.
And now looking
just
over,
kind of pounding and grounding.
And now looking over at your screen, an on the field view there of this Artesian offense from behind.
Davis snaps the ball here.
And just, it looks like he's going to try and loft another one down the sideline over to Landon Johnson.
Yeah.
Landon Johnson himself making a big play earlier.
Johnson, you know, he's made some big catches this game right there. That's his 3rd one of the night, just kind of, you know, feeling where the defense is. You know, he feels some soft coverage, so he's just going to plant his feet right there, right around the 30. There was a flag, so this one might be coming back.
Holding on the offense, so it will indeed back us up about 5 yards. Definitely not what you love to see if you're Duggar. So far, Mooresville been very, very good on penalties, very, very good on flags. Martinsville being a little sloppy here, and it's cost them some points here as we go down the stretch.
Yeah, it sure has, you know, and we talked about how it was a pretty clean game thus far in this game. You can't let these penalties start to pile up. You know, when you get a 10-yard penalty like that on a 1st down, really sets you back. You know, you're right around the 50 now. You got to get all the way to the 30, so you got a lot of work to do.
And it looks like Dewey rushing forward for a nice gain that
pick
time.
Up half.
Getting them back to where they started originally, maybe even a little bit further. A 2nd and 9, an 11-yard rush that time. And why don't you just say give it to the big man every time?
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to pick up 10 like that, I'm feeding number 8 all night long. He's just been a powerhouse tonight and all season, really. You know, he's just been one of those senior guys that you can lean on when times get tough. You know, you don't think things are clicking. You know, you give the ball to number 8, let him go work, and right there, splits a change right there.
And Chase Davis looks like he will hand it off to Lucas Dewey again as he finds a bunch of open space. And Lucas Dewey is caught at around the 20-yard line just again and again, rushing forward and getting so much yardage for this Artesian offense.
Just rumbling and tumbling forward, just tripped up, keeps going. Lucas Dewey yet again picks up another 1st down, keeping this Artesian drive alive once again.
And that is an Artesian 1st down, 9:46 here to go in the 3rd quarter. As it looks like Chase Davis discussing a little bit before Brian Duggar before he takes this next snap. Definitely want to be careful this close to an end zone and this close to 6 points to take the lead here late in this game. And another handoff to Dewey, who just finds even more space. This Mooresville defense just collapsing under its own weight right now.
Yeah,
as this offensive line keeps creating holes for Dewey to abuse.
And they've really struggled to stop this offense, and it's been really run heavy. You know, we've seen a couple of passes. Other than that, they've just been relying on the ground game. And these, shout out to the big fellas up front. They're going to work. I mean, they are moving some bodies, clearing out some space for Lucas Dewey, who's doing the rest.
And, I mean, it's almost like you said earlier, they kept running and running and running it in that first half. It seems to have weared down this Mooresville run defense a little, just making them feel that pressure there as they get pounded by this offensive line. And it looks like it will be another handoff to Dewey, who gets an easy 1st down, moves the sticks, and we are now within field goal range. Well within field goal range, we are now within reach of the end zone. Just a few more rushes here, and Dewey might be in again.
You know, you got to think, maybe the defense got thrown a little bit off guard. You know, obviously you're expecting, you know, a five-minute at least break coming out of halftime where, you know the offense is going to be on the field. And whenever they do an onside kick like that, it just kind of throws everyone off. And, you know, defense wasn't expecting to come out this early. And the Artesians in the 2nd half kind of came out and punched them in the mouth. You know, they're setting the tone early, and if you're an Artesian fan, you got to like what you're seeing thus far.
And Chase Davis, another handoff to Dewey up the middle, just pushing and stiff arming his way up, but it does look like he'll be slightly short of that end zone. Second and maybe even a second and one. Second and third, my mistake. 8:06 left to go here in the third quarter. Dewey just abusing this defense right now, doing whatever he wants on the ground.
And I think it took, 9 guys for the Pioneers to bring him down. He's just a huge force. Pioneers, I believe, will call a timeout. Coach Bob Denton over there wanting to talk it over for the Pioneers before they get back out for this big second down play.
And is it fair to say that we haven't had a running back like Lucas Dewey in some time, possibly even going back to the late 90s with Israel Thompson, that absolute beast of a man, or maybe even in later times when we had Shrake back a couple years back with you?
Those couple guys, they ring a bell. We've had some really good running backs, kind of going down the line. Lucas Dewey, Braden Shrake. We've had some dudes that can kind of get loose and make some things happen. And I think that's one thing that the Artesians continue to produce. You got a lot of running backs that have ran the ball really well, kind of going down the line. Even a few years ago with Tyler Cox, you had Austin Fry in there a little bit, Austin Pryor. Just going down the list of a lot of dudes who can really run the football really well. And they run the ball hard. And all those dudes, when they get in open space, they can run down really fast. And I think that's one spot that continues to produce year in and year out. The Artesians typically have a pretty solid running back.
And it looks like we will be ready to go here on second down, as it's a nice little screen pass over there to Casey, but I don't think he'll get there. Maybe he gets it down to the 1, maybe even the 2 that time.
It seemed like everything kind of collapsed on him down there. He kind of kept trying to stretch the sideline. It slowly caved in. So now we got a big third down. You got 2 yards to go until you get in the end zone. And do you think about scrambling Chase out like they did, rolling him out wide, and you got a couple options to throw to? If not, try to get it yourself. I think you got a lot of options here. And watch Landon Casey. See if number 2 gets involved.
And it does look like it'll be a nice little forward pass there. Chase Davis over to Landon Casey, but he drops it again. What a bad drop there from Landon Casey. Had a touchdown in his hands, but just couldn't wrap his fingers around it, and it slips through.
It's a tough catch. He had the corner out. I can see Chase signaling him, hey, go run that corner out, and he did. He had him step beaten. It looked like he had to jump on him in the air, too. Beautiful ball there from Chase. Casey, tough catch. Couldn't come down with it there. So here we go. We thought the last fourth down here, about the same place, would be the biggest play of the game. This one, just going to top that one.
Talking about big play after big play, just
really
drive after drive.
Yeah.
Not having any slowdown in the rise of emotion here, as this rivalry just keeps pushing the energy of this crowd to newer heights.
Coach Duggar, play clock running out. Going to decide to use a timeout. And last time they were in this situation, they called a timeout on fourth down as well. And they were able to draw up a beautiful one. So let's see if they can do the same thing once again.
Those look like some of the coaches on the sideline signaling over to someone.
They can't tell if they're looking in the booth or up above where the coaches are, but they do seem like they are signaling something to someone. Kind of a chilly night here at Siderewicz Field. I took a stroll out at halftime, and it was a little chilly. If you're not covered up in some sweatshirts sitting in the bleachers, you could be pretty cold. These players don't feel it down there. They got the adrenaline running. They probably don't think they don't feel the cold at all.
They think it's warm, if anything else.
They wish it was probably a little colder. You're never, most likely not going to see the sleeves on any of those fellas down there. They live in the cold. So here we go. Rollins kind of went out there and warmed up his leg. Maybe as just a decoy, because I don't think they're going to use him. Trust in your players. And they will.
Trust in them, and they will put their trust within you to make the right play call in the right time. 7:10 here left to go.
Huge
Chase
play.
Davis back out there with Lucas Dewey. We see what they'll cook up, and it does look like it'll be up the middle to Dewey, but it is not there. Dewey stopped right behind the line, and it is now Mooresville ball.
Yeah, they kind of met him where they needed to do. They had a couple guys in the backfield there, and they were able to just pounce on him right in the backfield, not able to get the first down. And that's a huge stop for the Pioneers, especially just coming off the onside kick. You know, you think the Artesians kind of marching all the way down, and then right there they're able to get penetration at the line of attack. So Pioneers sure have their work cut out for them. But what a break for the Pioneers, able to make a huge stop there on 4th down.
And definitely not a very favorable position here, but Mooresville has done better with less this game, as it looks like one of the Denny brothers will try and push it up a little bit, maybe gaining 1 or 2 yards that time, as it is now 2nd down.
Yeah, wasn't much there, if any. Our teachers played pretty well there up front, but they're going to have to come up with a big stop. You know, if you can get a stop down here, deep in Mooresville territory, you can force a punt. Our teams will have pretty favorable field position, but that's a tough ask. You know, as we mentioned, this offense has really had its way here with the Artesians thus far tonight. Let's see if that will continue.
And Cruz, little pre-snap motion before he rockets one down over the middle to, I believe, number 31 for the Mooresville Pioneers, Brody Beasley.
Beasley with a huge catch there. I mean, that's a 2nd and long turned into a huge first down pickup. You get it right around the 33-yard line, and just when you think the Pioneers kind of have their backs against the wall, they make a huge throw right up the middle, similar to what they did earlier in the game on a big, I think it was a 3rd down play. They threw it right up the middle, another big catch there for the Pioneers. They haven't passed it much, but when they have, they've had some success.
Just what a string of plays they've been able to put together on these drives. Just unstoppable so far by this Martinsville defense. As there again, I believe that was Cruz sneaking it up the middle on another read option. As Gillen just seems to be calling plays consistently over and over and over again, and the Artesians just can't stop it.
Yeah, he puts a lot in the hands full of Cruz, and he makes a lot of decisions, you know, specifically with those option plays where he has the option to either hand it off or keep it. And he's, so far tonight, he's made all the right reads. You know, when the guys collapse, he knows to take that thing outside, and when they don't bite and they stay home, you hand it off, let Denny go to work. They've found a lot of success with that option play.
Cruz out there again, this time in a shotgun. Nice little fake handoff there to one of the Denny's as he tries and gets a successful pass out there to 31 again.
Yeah.
Brody Beasley.
Beasley with some couple big catches here tonight, and specifically a couple big catches on this possession. You know, he had the big one earlier on the 2nd and long, and then right there picks up another huge chunk of yards. Pioneers rolling right now here on offense. You can see Beasley lowers his shoulder, kind of puts it to a couple of Artesian defenders there. He's a big fella, and it takes a lot to bring him down.
And it looks like it'll be another handoff. And it tries to work it on the outside, getting it around 7 or 8 yard gain to around the 2nd or maybe even a 1 down situation, 2nd and 1st maybe.
And they're moving the ball. You know, I mean, they're picking up chunk yardage after chunk yardage. This defense still yet so far really hadn't had an answer. And this Pioneer running attack has really came home and really produced tonight. Artesians really struggled to try and stop this Pioneer offense.
Does look like they'll bring a couple men in as they do stop him at the line of scrimmage. That time a couple of Artesians, including Potteroff, getting around that line and just tackling him.
You know, he had a couple of big catches here tonight, and right there saying, hey, I can not only play tight end, but throw me in D-line. I can make some things happen. And he makes a nice tackle right around the line of scrimmage for the Artesians. Huge 3rd down. You know, clock's counting, 4:15 to go in this 3rd quarter play. Pioneers rolling. Can the Artesians get a big stop?
It looks like Cruz will do it himself, and he does have that 1st down. And just what an unstoppable man that is. Just a dual threat ability of Cruz.
So athletic, too. You know, he can just move around. So agile in the pocket right there. Just able to make a couple guys miss. Knows where the sticks are. And able to pick up that big 1st down for the Pioneers. Keep this drive alive.
And I feel like every single night a football team comes out, you're getting a little bit of a different team each time. Each practice, each game changes the team's identity just a smidge, and it definitely makes it hard to predict what you're going into each game.
Yeah, you know, teams get better throughout the year. You know, if you look at the Artesian team week 1 and the Artesian team this week, you know what I mean? It's a totally different team. You know, teams improve throughout the year. They get to know each other. You know, they start playing better football. And I think both of these teams have gotten better throughout the year, and we're seeing some of their best football being played tonight. And, you know, still with a week to left in the regular season, you got one more week to kind of improve yourself more and kind of get those finishing touches on before you hit the tournament. Because, you know, when the tournament comes, everyone's 0-0. Everyone makes it. Everyone has a chance. You got a clean slate, and anything can happen.
It looks like Cruz, a little bit of a tush push here again. Had one of those plays earlier to try and get a first down, and it looks like it will be converted both times.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're averaging 3 yards on their own version of the tush push. So if I'm Coach Gillen, anytime I'm in a pinch and you need a yard or two, well, that tush push seems to have a pretty high efficiency rate.
And I mean, so far, I feel like the scoreboard is lying a little bit when it tells you what the score is. It almost feels like we've played 2 consecutive games here.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have just been pounding and grounding. Not a lot of huge plays tonight. You know, we've had a couple of 20-ish yards passed, but we haven't had that big explosive play that I feel like we're used to seeing with, you know, these matchups. In every game this season, we usually have a huge explosive play, but it's been a lot of consistency. You know, you run the ball, you throw the occasional dump pass, and you keep running and running. And, you know, we haven't seen a lot of explosive plays thus far tonight. And you got to think coming down the stretch, both teams kind of slowly seeing what they need to do. You might take a shot, you know, not necessarily the Pioneers in this situation, but you may see the Artesians start to get a little more aggressive and see both teams kind of take more shots here. Right there, Pioneers will.
And just a nice deep shot there for number 11, Journey Thompson, one of their top receiving targets, but just couldn't make the connection that time, as it looks like number 9, Grady Gardner, was there to break up the pass.
Yeah, Grady Gardner was over there. Adam Branham kind of got a hand up right there. Great closing over there, because it looked like he had a step that he kind of got right in the face of the receiver. So huge third down. You got a third down and 10. You got him behind the sticks. You had the nice tackle on first down, then you had the incomplete on second. So big third down here. This could set the tone. Thus far in this third quarter, we're winding down.
And it does look like the Artesians bringing everyone into a lot of a press coverage, as it looks like they will try to rush the passer this time, trying to get to Carson Cruz quickly. But it's a nice pass there by Cruz, and it does look like they do get the first down over there to Journey Thompson. A little bit of redemption there for him.
What a throw there from Cruz. You know, you got to think the Artesians probably playing pretty tight coverage over there, but just a simple hitch route, knows where the sticks are, gets the ball, kind of turns immediately. Lucas Dewey almost got home there. Nice pickup from the running back, but kind of just goes and stops. A heck of an effort, second effort to get the first down for the Pioneers yet again. Seems like those third down plays, they've really leaned on the passing game. And when they have, it's came through for them.
And it does look like they'll hand it off to Tyler Denny once more. Not a whole lot of yards that time, but still a very nice conservative game. And it does feel like he's old Mr. Reliable in this game. You can just rely on him whenever you need a few yards.
He's going to get a few yards, and he's quick. Again, like we mentioned, you get him in open space, he can make a few guys miss. Really just a versatile athlete that can do it all. And when you get the ball to him, good things typically happen, and that's what we've seen tonight.
Now in the shadow of the end zone, let's see what this Pioneer team tries to cook up to end this third quarter on a footnote that is memorable. And Cruz trying to find a hole here. And does, and he shakes and bakes and makes it well into the end zone. Tyler Denning, my mistake that time. Just what a play there that time from Denny, and just what a nice little spin move to shake off all those defenders and get into the end zone for an easy touchdown here for Mooresville. And that really does shake things up here.
I mean, look at this.
The end of the
you think he's
quarter.
dead to rights. How does he not go down? You see like 3 Artesians right there, just don't ever wrap up. And he's able to sneak his way all the way into the end zone. Pioneers jump back out double digits now. 27-17, have a chance to make it 2018.
And the kick here from number 48, Noah Puckett, is good.
So Pioneers do jump out. 11-point lead They have been unstoppable on offense thus far tonight. Continues that streak. 4 possessions, 4 scores for the Pioneers. And again, when you have a game like this, when both teams are kind of run heavy, it's going to bleed out the clock a lot. And, you know, Pioneers have had 4 possessions in, 3 quarters of football. You know, that's not a lot. So for the Artesians, whenever you do get a possession, you got to take care of the ball and you got to make the most of it.
Definitely got to make it count, Braxton.
Because they're not
Otherwise,
coming very
you
often.
could easily lose the lead here. Only 4 possessions, like you said, and I mean, just what a game. We have only 8:57 Standard Eastern Time, and just what a game this has been. You know, so packed full of energy, emotion, like I've been saying. And you don't feel like you've been watching one game for 3 quarters. You feel like you've been watching just so many games at once each quarter.
You really do. And it seems to have been that way. And we'll see if the Pioneers, they kicked it deep last time. We'll see if they'll do it this time. They will. Ish.
And a deep-ish kick over there to Landon Casey. Seems to try and be finding a little bit of room, but it's just a nice tackle and wrap up there. That time from, I believe, number 35 for Mooresville, Landon Powell.
Their teachers got their work cut out for them. Down double digits, 25 seconds to go before the 4th quarter.
And you got to think anything but a pass play here is just wanting that clock to end.
Yeah. And clock not necessarily in the Artesians' favor thus far. In this point of the game, you're down 11, so you got to make some things happen.
Well, we all know we've seen crazier comebacks come out of this Artesian Stadium. Remembering that Decatur comeback we had last year is definitely one of the happiest moments for this Artesian team and for Brian Duggar as well.
Yeah, that was one of the most electric moments in high school football history. Not sure how that happened. We'll be talking about that for years and years to come. I'll tell you that.
The comeback of 24 is what they'll call it. Huh?
Yeah. Looks like the Artesians will probably take this to the quarter.
And that will be your 3rd quarter here at Siderewicz Field. What a game we've been privy to see. You are watching Martinsville versus Mooresville. Pioneers up 28-17 on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSA TV. We will see you at the beginning of the 4th.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Emma and Jake's just baby-proof their 2-bedroom bungalow to prepare for baby number 1 insurance. We're good at Madeline and Chance's just gave in and became minivan people to make room for baby number 2 insurance. And we're good at Gabby and Nate's just moved to a house with a bigger backyard to welcome fur baby number 3 insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And back out from our wonderful ad break, sponsoring the IHSA administration, which helps students all across the entire state of Indiana. We are back here at Siderewicz Field. Pioneers up 28-17. As it looks like the Artesians, nice little outside pass to the closer side of us. And it looks like that will be caught by Landon. Never mind, it's an incomplete pass to Landon Casey once again. Just having a little bit of a slippery finger problem.
And he was there. I think the ball was a little bit underthrown, but not able to come down with that one. That was a pretty good chunk of yards. You want to come up with a big play there, but Artesians just couldn't quite get under it.
Chase Davis trying to do what he's been doing all game, trying to get people to jump off sides, just trying to get anything from this Mooresville defense, but they are giving nothing. It looks like it'll be another out route, this time to number 82, Landon Johnson. He's had some big plays of his own. And if I was Chase Davis, I'd be trying to target him more, as he's definitely been trying to become more involved in this game.
Yeah, I think they're going to call it incomplete. They're going to say Johnson didn't come down with it. The ref said he was bobbling on the sideline. Those are 2 catches you want to see made. It's a bang-bang play on both sides. And Artesians couldn't come up with either.
It does look like the Artesians will punt this one away, but who knows what will happen. Charlie Rollins faked this out earlier. Let's see if he fakes this out again or if he actually gives it up this time.
Yeah, we'll see. Artesians going to have to call yet another timeout. Some dudes not doing what they're supposed to.
Now what you love to see here, already down to 1 timeout early in the 4th quarter. Just now what you love to see, especially when the clock is not favoring you, Braxton, at all.
No, and when you have to waste a timeout like that, you got 1 remaining, you're down 11. You'd like to keep those 3 timeouts to maybe use them in a situation when you need to stop the clock. But they're not going to have any but 1 thus far this game. So Artesians look to punt right here, and they're going to have to get a stop on defense. It's going to come down to that. Haven't done it yet tonight, but they're going to have another crack at it.
And this Mooresville team definitely making life incredibly hard here for this Martinsville offense. They are forced to punt yet again, I think only for the 2nd time this game, since it's been so action-packed, as Charlie Rollins decides to send this one deep into Mooresville territory. Artesians surrounding the ball as they try to push it back a little bit further before it's finally picked up, I think that time, by either Lucas Dewey or Grady Gardner.
Yeah, solid punt there. I mean, you flip the field to Charlie Rollins. He's been doing his job tonight, flipping fields when they need to, hitting field goals when they need to as well. But this defense putting up to its toughest task, stopping this Mooresville Pioneer offense.
And it does look like Lucas Dewey is off the field for this play. For how many, though, we will see, as it looks like Mooresville just keeps getting itself backed up. Now actually starting to commit sloppy penalties now that they're up around 11 points.
Yeah, and they need to play clean football. They play clean football thus far tonight. You got to finish it. Look at that Ferris wheel. Beautiful shot over there, you can see. But if you're on that thing, you can probably see this field. We can see it, so it's got to be able to see us. And you can't really see the scoreboard from that angle, but you can definitely see the lights. Martinsville High School shining bright.
And it looks like it will be an outside run that time. And it looks like Connor Cruz just using his legs like always as he looks to begin his steps in this game, like you said earlier.
Sure
running
is.
Almost a mini marathon.
Yeah, I mean, he's been running back and forth on the field and to the sideline to get the play as well. He's been quite the workhorse right there. Just moving forward, always falling forward.
Looks like it will be a handoff this time to Denny. Tyler Denny getting nice yards that time as he gets another first down and just keeps moving the chains here.
Moving the chains, moving this clock. And again, they've just been finding their way with this Artesian defense. They've been, especially in the ground game, that dual threat with Cruz and Denny has been tough to stop. And they've been getting their way, picking up first downs right and left. And it seems like every time you get them pinched back in a third down situation, they're able to complete something over top.
It looks like Cruz will take it again, this time on the outside, but the Artesians do not let him get out in space that time, surrounding him at around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was a nice flow to the football there from the Artesians. You see a lot of guys flying around, making that play right around the line of scrimmage, about a gain of, I think, 2. So again, Pioneers in no hurry. You got an 11-point lead. We're nearing the 10-minute mark here in this fourth quarter. Pioneers going to try to score and score as slow as possible.
It does look like it will be another handoff to Tyler Denny as he just finds room always and moves these chains again.
Just a vision. You know, he knows where the sticks are, and he just goes right through that initial hole, and he knows that the defense is all to his left, so he's going to fade to the right. And just beautiful, beautiful awareness he has.
It looks like you will see another field view of Tyler Denny just getting into that space and putting in that work.
Artesians had an opportunity to tackle him right up there, but he just quick and elusive. He's been sliding, slipping through guys all night long.
And it looks like Cruz will have another handoff to Denny, who nearly gets corralled behind the line that time, but manages to just somehow turn this into positive yardage.
He has, and he's done that all night. You know, somehow turning nothing into something. Does it again, right there.
However, we will finally have a stoppage of clock. 9:07 at 9:07 Standard Eastern Time.
How about that?
Just what a coincidence.
Yeah, meant to be.
And this game does look like it was turning to be in a slugfest early on. However, with a single touchdown earlier in the third quarter, Mooresville Pioneers have seemed to turn this on its head.
Yeah, and again, we can go back to that fourth down play at the goal line the Artesians had in that third quarter where they couldn't punch it in. And that's going to be the play of the game for the Pioneers if they're able to hang on to this one, because that stop right there was huge. You know, Artesians had a chance to cut it once again to 4, but they didn't let them. They had a huge defensive stand right there at the goal line.
And Denny just keeps pushing his way forward, slithery sly, trying to find his way for that first down using his incredible field vision. I mean, if you're the Artesians, I mean, how do you even focus on stopping an offense like this? They have the ability for deep balls, so you can't fully press into the offensive line. They have the ability to run the ball like Tyler Denny is doing right now. They also have the ability to run an option play, maybe even a triple option, using a bunch of their halfback threats. How do you even stop a team like this tonight?
You know, it's tough. It's tough, but I think at this point in the game, just with the way the Pioneers have been scoring, I think you got to send some heavy blitzes. You know, you got to get home and try to get them behind the line of scrimmage. You know, they've been picking up some chunk yardages in the air, but mostly it's been coming on the ground, you know, with that option play where they can either run it or hand it off. So if I'm the Artesians, you know, you got to start sending some dudes straight to the house. You know, you got to get to the quarterback, get them behind the line of scrimmage, make them in those uncomfortable second and long, third and long situations where you do force them to air it out. When they air it out, secondary is going to have to come up big.
It looks like it will be a read option as Connor Cruz just forces his way forward, slipping through the grasp of multiple defenders as they get another first down well into Artesian territory here with 7:43 left to go in this fourth quarter.
And at this point, someone's going to have to step up for the Artesians. Someone's going to have to cause a turnover. You're going to have to try and punch that football out, because right now I'm not sure if the Pioneers are going to be stopped. I mean, they are just doing anything at whatever they want at will. And so if I'm the Artesians, attack that football. You know, when you got them wrapped up, just try to rip at that ball, try to make a turnover. But, I mean, the Pioneers have done a really good job of not turning the ball over here tonight. Pioneers will call a timeout. $7:11 remaining in this.
My favorite gas station.
7-Eleven, yeah. They got some pretty good stuff, don't they? What's your go-to when you go to a 7-Eleven? What's that?
Probably just grab a Pepsi from the fridge.
Maybe
a
get
little
you going.
quick snack in the snack aisle.
Yeah.
Can of Pringles, 2 for $4.
So you got that menu on lock. You know exactly what you get when you walk in there.
I know exactly what I'm going for, Brad.
There's no walking around wasting time. You know you're getting in that Pringle aisle, taking a stop at the refrigerators, and you're on the road again.
It's exactly like my dad taught me when I was little. After so many times shopping with my mom, we were going into Kohl's. We finally went in there with my dad. We got our belt. We got out in under 10 minutes, and I just thought that was just amazing.
Yeah, in and out. That's what you got to do. Stick to business.
That's my favorite restaurant.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So here we go. As you mentioned, 7-11 left to go in this fourth quarter. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Artesians need a big stop. Need to cause a turnover. See what they can make happen.
Looks like Denny just slithering his way forward again. Artesians having no answer to him at all throughout the entirety of this game, as he probably has well over 100 yards rushing so far.
Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned, the Denny brothers have definitely made their mark on this Pioneer football program. They're continuing to make their mark. Denny got a couple more years left with the squad.
Definitely a lot of growing opportunities here for this Mooresville team. Although they will be missing Connor Cruz deeply next year, I do not think that will impact them all too much, as they still hold most of their core roster together.
Yeah. A lot of weapons for sure.
Speaking of Cruz, he goes forward, thinks about going left, but then ends up taking a step back and going right, and just finds positive yardage and showing excellent field vision there.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked at the slide there. You know, he slid a couple yards short for the first down, especially with the way he's been running. He's been running very physical tonight. You know, it feels like any time he gets the chance to hit somebody, he's trying to, but decides to slide. So he'll come up a couple yards short. Yet again, another huge third down. Artesians have a chance to make a big stop here.
And the Artesians' possible play of the game could help define the coming minutes. As it looks like Cruz will take it again, and it looks like he will get there. That is another first down for this Mooresville team as they move the chains again.
Yeah, they'll continue to roll this clock down. They bled a lot. I mean, we're already nearing the 5:30-minute mark to go in this game, and Pioneers have shown no signs of slowing down tonight. They've just been, anytime they need a first down, they've been drawing up the right plays and getting it.
And as strange as this sounds, I feel like this team has been put on the back of its defense rather than its offense, despite how much their offense has been abusing this Martinsville Artesian defense, mainly because although this is their highest scoring game of the year, it's only by 1 point.
Yeah.
And that other highest scoring game was against one of the biggest matchups in the conference, Decatur Central.
Yeah.
So there's definitely been a show here to see how this defense has just clamped up this Artesian offense and slowed any effort at trying to get them into a rhythm.
Take a look at that tackle there. Lucas Dewey kind of getting him from behind and just pounding ground and just driving him right into the ground. Denny probably going to feel that one tomorrow. That hit from Dewey was pretty aggressive. Only gained about a yard.
.430 left to go here in the fourth quarter as time is winding down, and that coffin door is slowly shutting here on the Artesians' hopes at coming away with a win here at Siderewicz Field.
We're going to come up with another third down. Third and about 5. Pioneers, you got to think most likely in 4-down territory. Don't know what their kicking situation looks like, but at this point in the ball game, they're probably going to try to pick up half and go for it on 4th. Cruz is going to take it himself. Think he'll get the first.
Just another first down there that continues to salt this game away.
Yeah.
Mooresville might not even need at this point to try and get that first down again, as they can just salt this game away to the point where the Artesians just have little to no hope of trying to come back.
Yeah, doing the math, it's not in the Artesians' favor right now. Again, 1 timeout remaining, so you can stop the clock once. But other than that, Pioneers are going to keep this thing on the ground. The clock's going to continue to roll.
And it does look like it'll be another hand off to Denny, but this time he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Good job there by that Artesian defensive line. Just wrapping around him, making sure he has no space, closing those gaps and closing in on him.
You got to think that 1 timeout from their Artesians. They may have to use it here on one of these 3 plays that they can call. 2:30.
It does look like Potteroff trying to make some play changes here.
Yeah, trying to get that play in.
Mooresville coming to the line now. after a great offensive gain by them. So far, no interceptions and no fumbles for them, just playing very disciplined football.
Yeah.
As it looks like it'll be another handoff to the outside to Denny, who uses his legs trying to get his speed up before going in and only gaining about 2 to 3 yards.
Denny tried to get the edge there, but our team kind of, at this point in the game, you kind of know what's coming when he gets the ball out in space. They did a pretty good job there, kind of gang tackling, getting Denny behind the line. You see one guy kind of meeting him, Willis in there, and then the rest of them going to finish the job.
Thankfully, no 2-minute breaks in high school, so your football will continue uninterrupted.
Another big third down. Artesian's got to stop. We're under 2 minutes to go. Got a timeout left. You get a stop here, you're going to call it.
Looks like the Artesians trying to load up for the run here.
Pioneers going to call a timeout with 1 second remaining on the play clock. Pioneers have a chance to ice this thing away with the first down.
And I mean, what a game it has been so far, Braxton. Just what a final game here on senior night. Mooresville coming out, shutting down this Artesian crowd and shutting down this Artesian team as they just leave them little to no hope of winning this game.
Yeah, Pioneers, they came out swinging. You know, they had a really good game plan going in on how to stop the Artesians, and they've had a lot of success. And this offense has just been really untouchable for the Pioneers. The Artesians have really struggled to try and stop this team. They have a chance here late in the game to try and get a stop. If I'm the Pioneers, I'm going to run this thing out and determine this game on the ground, because that's how they've gotten this spot. That's how they have an 11-point lead, is by running the football. And the Connor Cruz Denny trio or duo is tough to stop, pretty lethal. They've had a lot of success tonight. If I'm the Pioneers, I'm going to lean on them to try and close out this game.
And it looks like Cruz will roll out to his right, and he is stuffed just short as he gets tough tackled that time by Lucas Dewey and Artesians number 23, Bradley Wilson.
Coach Tucker's going to call the timeout, so you get the stop you need. Pioneers, I'm not sure their kicking situation, but it looks like they might try a field goal. I see some different fellas trotting on. They're going to call them back off. Nevertheless, they got some time to think. You know, we got a timeout. Coach Duggar calling his last timeout, stops the clock with 1:19 to go left in this ball game. Get a first down will do it. A field goal will give the ball back to the Artesians. And, of course, touchdown will give the ball back, too. But
that would pretty much salt this game away, Braxton.
Yeah, you know, with the clock at where it's at this point in the game, if the Artesians get the ball back, whether it's a score or not, they're going to have to be slinging this thing and getting out of bounds. And they're in that 2-minute drill. They practice it every Thursday, you know, just slinging the thing around. And getting out of bounds, stopping the clock, spiking it. And if the Artesians manage to get a stop, you know they will be in that 2-minute drill going turbo mode. Again, the Artesians, you're going to need 2 scores, 2 touchdowns. A field goal and a touchdown won't do it unless you go for 2. Pioneers will elect to try and get a field goal. Push this thing to 14.
This field goal would pretty much salt things away. And it is good for the Mooresville Pioneers. 1:16 left to go now in this game. As you got to think, this kickoff could be very important. The Artesians could offer a fair catch-up, try and save as much time as possible to try and go for a Hail Mary or a deep ball. Or they could trust in Landon Casey and Grady Gardner, the top returners, to try and get a big play. That is, if the ball is kicked far enough, which Mooresville has been known to pooch it in this game, so it could very well go to one of the big guys up front.
Solid kick there from Andre Carr. He is fired up over there on that Pioneer sideline. I mean, he was very animated, just fists in the air, flexing. He is pretty pumped about that big kick. He just sliced through the uprights. excuse me, I think it was Josh Morris for the Pioneers, who was pretty fired up after that kick. So again, 1:16 to go. Pioneers set to boot this thing away. Artesians got to score twice. They got to score, get an onside kick and score again.
And away it goes. Just a slight pooch that time over to Lucas Dewey. Chooses not to catch it as it rolls out of bounds. .116 left to go here. Final quarter of play. Well within the 2-minute drill range.
Yeah, you got to run 2 minutes. You won't see a run play probably the rest of this game. You're gonna
no
see
more balls to Lucas Dewey, I'm afraid.
Yep, unless you get a check down or a screen. You're going to see the Artesians fire this thing away. Landon Casey probably going to get a lot of targets. Jace LaFerry may get a couple shots. Again, the Pioneers basically in a prevent defense here.
It does look like it is an out route to Casey that time.
Will be caught, and they got to go, and they got to go quick. Clock will continue to run.
Got to move quickly. And it does look like Johnson, Casey, and LaFerry are all out there. Along with Dewey in the backfield, possible check down route maybe. Chase Davis feels the pressure slightly, unloads it over to LaFerry, who just had a casual in route there.
Yeah, didn't pick up much. Clock continues to roll. Under 50 seconds to go now.
Casey trying to hurry. Chase snaps it off again. Man at his back, but he gets it out just in time over to Johnson, who has a nice catch there before getting it out of bounds and pausing this clock.
Smart play there from Johnson. You know you sticks. You got to get out of bounds. Stops the clock. 34 seconds remaining. So your Artesians got to think to start spiking it if you're going to catch it in bounds.
And you got to think you cannot risk giving Mooresville the ball back at any point in this game, as they could easily just get involved victory formation.
Yeah, turnover. You know, anytime Mooresville's going to touch the ball, they're going to win. So you're going to have to get an onside. You're going to have to get some turnovers. Jace needs to go out of bounds there, but he's not. So that's going to keep the clock rolling even more. Probably going to have to spike it here.
Clock just keeps ticking away, under 20 seconds now here in Siderewicz Field. Players just trying to rumble around, trying to get in their places, but it doesn't look like Chase will be spiking the ball as he just snaps it really, really quickly. And he nearly gets taken down as that is an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass, and Chase looks to be a little slow to get up there. He took a shot in the backside. He didn't see him coming.
And you know, I feel like with 6.6 left to go, I feel like this is a good point to start talking about what ifs instead of what could be, just for this Martinsville Artesian offense.
Yeah, not looking good for tonight. You know, I think this one's salted away. But looking forward at the rest of the season, you know, you got a big game next week against Plainfield. They've second best team in the mid-state. They're pretty solid. Coach Duggar not a happy camper down there. They will back him up 5 for the penalty. But, you know, you got to look forward. You got a big game next week against Plainfield. Plainfield's really good. Then after that, you got a clean slate, and you're ready for tournament time. You know, hopefully we get another opportunity to play here at home. But,
and, of course, Chase Davis is taken down by this Mooresville defense, and that will be the end of the game. What a final note to end on here at Siderewicz Field, as a final sack that time for the Mooresville defense sends us off, and that will do it here at Siderewicz Field. The final score, 31-17. Not what you'd love to see here if you're this Artesian home crowd, but it is the final score, and it cannot be argued. Thanks for watching, everyone, as the Artesians unfortunately lose here at Siderewicz Field 31-17. Special thanks to everyone in my RTV2 class who helped film this entire production, as well as my broadcast partner, Braxton Dilly. And that will do it for the final home game of the season. For everyone watching and for everyone who helped produce this film, I'm Quinn Sparenbleck, and I will see you next time.